testing and delivery, and Delta Airlines knows it. So to get around U.S. tariffs on new aircraft, the carrier is flying a brand new Airbus jet from France to Japan before bringing it into the U.S. to skirt those levies. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 374 points to 40,601. We've got a crash on 70 going west at Lucas Hunt. That's got the right lane and shoulder closed. Stalled vehicle 370 west at 141. That's got the right two lanes closed. And we've got some emergency vehicles just cleared out on 270 going east at Lilac.
Unsettled weather pattern is going to continue right through Thursday. We have another shot of rain and thunderstorms as we go through the mid to late afternoon hours. It's windy, 75 degrees. I think the main focus of this is going to be to our south, but we have to watch it carefully. It kind of unfolds hour by hour. Tonight, periods of showers and a couple of thunderstorms. 60 for the overnight low. Wednesday, periods of showers, some spot thunderstorms. Best chance for thunderstorms Wednesday will be in the afternoon. 76 for the high. Still some showers and thunderstorms around Wednesday night. Thursday, showers, spot storms. Mainly just a rain setup on Thursday. 76. Clear it out for Friday and over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlewis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlewis.com. Thunderstorms moving through 73 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Well, Channel 2's in friggin' store mode. I don't know what the hell Michael Calhoun's pretending he's doing.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be on the air right now. It's store mode.
Oh, the microphones sound different.
Yeah, they do. So we just got new microphones, and they're supposed to help us sound better and beefier and more robust. Everyone but Kevin, I think they gave him a microphone with no electronics.
They're trying to tamp him down.
Give me the Mickey Mouse mic, yeah.
So let us know on the stream if it makes any difference at all. And it's interesting. We're not supposed to talk much about the ratings, but I don't care. And it's all digital. It's all bull crap. Whether we're number 10 or number 1, I've said that from the jump. All my 25 years, it's bull crap. But anyway, the way they measure them, there's a difference between the bumper music and my voice and Kevin's voice and Dave Murray on his system from Laguna Beach. And they got into Kevin's really high and Dave's really low. And then Rach, being female, will have a different timbre to her voice. And sometimes they don't show up for the ratings.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. In fact, there's been a tool, and I don't know if it's okay to use or not, but that music stations around the country have been accused of using.
Yeah.
That's some kind of tone. That's some kind of tone that plays in the background.
Yeah.
That always registers because it hits the right tone. Yeah. Yeah. So
Steve was telling me that until recently they stopped doing it, but in New York there was, I think, a sports station. It was definitely talk where they played a ticking sound.
Oh.
The entire time.
Oh my God, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah. And then other places will play a music bed, like say that, like just bring up any song, Rach, and just kind of play it low. And they will do it for an entire show. So especially sports, where it's just like,
right.
Just so they can get more in the ratings.
Right. Because it's about how the technology reads the signal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think so we're doing a test right now. Like as we speak, I'm sure Steve's looking at this. I think my voice isn't good. I think I remember hearing in the past when we would look into these
you mean
things.
good for this?
Good for this.
I got you.
Yes. I mean, remember, my voice is AI can't reproduce it. Craig Gass can't reproduce it. There's something weird about my voice, which isn't always good. So, but this brand new mic should fix it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got to get some auto tune.
There you go. Auto-tune all this to sound like you.
That would be really bad.
Uh-huh.
4 people sounding the same.
All sounding like Wheeler.
Oh, man.
I have a ruling specifically for Wheeler. A guy emailed me and said, and he's a super nice guy, totally normal guy, funny, but he was like, I need a ruling. I have 2 kids who play 2 different travel sports.
Okay.
And
I can see where this
he
is going.
says, the minute I get to Schaumburg or wherever we're going, I start rooting against my team so that we can go home early, so that we don't have to stay and play on Sunday. Am I a bad parent?
No, you're not a bad parent. Not a bad parent. It's totally, I mean, listen, having been in I haven't been in the youth sports, like the travel sports for basketball or hockey. Football's a little different thing. It's more camps that you're traveling to rather than like football games.
Yeah.
But there are 7-on-7 things. Like every sport's different. Soccer has their own. I've only been in the baseball one, and it's a strange setup because of the amount of time committed, right? So like as an example, I'm coaching this weekend. We have a couple of games Saturday morning, and that's all we know for the weekend. But we know there will be games on Sunday. We don't know how many there will be on Sunday. There's going to be 1 at least, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on the tournament, right? Sometimes, and it's all about whether you win on Sunday. So I see where because when you're looking at it from a parent's commitment standpoint, right? And if you have 2 kids and they're both playing, because everything's on the weekends.
Yeah.
So if they're playing the same sport, you're going to hope that they're at the same facility, but usually they're not. And you got to balance what will probably be 6 to 10 games over 48 hours, maybe including Friday night, but then your Friday night's gone. So no, doesn't make you a bad parent, but keep this in mind. Winning and losing at those levels doesn't matter.
Well, he was saying too that he and his wife separate on weekends.
Yep. And they never see each other.
See each other.
No, I can't even tell you how many. I know that we have some of the families that I've coached over the years that they listen every day. I guarantee you they experienced it, all of them, where mom's going one direction, dad's going another direction. On the rare times when they can all be in the same place, they do that. But it's a massive commitment. And it's beyond that, too, because, like our program, we practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we have a league game on Wednesdays for now, and that'll go away, in May. But then your Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are just, you're at the mercy of whatever each week is.
Yeah.
So no, it's a challenge. There's nothing, and I get what he's talking about. Like, you don't really want your kid's team to lose, but you do also want to have some time.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like inherently wrong about it. And I do think, and by the way, that's a healthier view than sitting there losing your mind when your kid's team's not winning.
Yeah.
Because the wins and losses don't matter. I mean, ideally, you want more games so everybody gets more repetition, right? More innings, more at-bats, more games in the field. That's what matters. And really what matters most at the youth levels is practice. Like, that's what gets missed. And it's funny because use basketball as an example. In basketball, the summer, the AAU is set up, and there's practices a little bit, but games are all the time, right? You're always traveling and playing games. In Europe, it's the opposite. They play 1 game a week, maybe, but they train 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I think the training is more important than the games, but the games get an elevated, place in the sport.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. I mean, but when your kid's 12, they're not learning how to win. You don't learn how to win at 12. You learn how to be a better player. And when you have more good players on the same team doing the right things, you win more games.
I learned how to lose at 12.
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, that's the more important lesson. Winning is easy. It's when you're getting your ass kicked that you learn something.
Word.
Yeah.
The stream is very active. Brian says that he realized yesterday that we do a no-buy, goodbye. Not true, Brian.
That's not true.
Not true.
I wave at the camera and I
Every
say,
day.
bye, stream.
Every day.
You can't hear me say it, but I say it.
Jacob asked if we read this. Yes, we do. So we used to be anti-camera. Not true. I used to be anti-camera.
Yeah. I love the camera.
I'm old. and I don't like learning new tricks. And I feel like being watched is a separate job.
I got you.
And I believe in theater of the mind, but I've embraced it, and it's nice. It's nice to see the comments and be able to react to them. And Randy says I love scrolling, and Dave catching my eye, going back and forth and back and forth. Your hips must be in shape. I got the best hips in the radio business.
Yeah.
Hips don't lie.
Telling you, man, my legs are ripped. They're old man ripped.
If you had asked me before we started streaming the show on video, if people would be really, really concerned about whether or not we said goodbye to them, I would have said that's ridiculous. That's absurd. No, these are grown adults watching this. They don't care if we say goodbye to them or not. But multiple people have been like, "How come you don't say goodbye?"
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Robert says, "Do you miss 97.1?" Loaded question. I miss the people. I miss that era. That was my first 20 years.
Right.
And the DJs kind of built that station. I was very, very proud of it. Still am. On October 16th of this year, I will celebrate my 25th anniversary, as will 97.1. We went on the air the same day. Yeah, but you move on, right? It's like a relationship, like a marriage.
Yeah.
Things you miss and things you
And
don't
your friends
miss.
are literally right down the hall.
Yeah. I go visit them like most every day.
Yeah.
Take Sue a burger.
Good times. Yeah, you do that. You do that a lot.
Yeah.
When we get the Capital Burgers, you always run one over there.
Yes. She's my pal.
That's your buddy.
She's my buddy. We had a weird lunch today. We missed you. We went to Asian Arch.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
And I got a Diet Coke.
Okay.
And Andrew got a real Coke.
Yeah.
And Andrew suspected that they got switched.
Uh-huh.
So what he meant to do was switch the sodas and say, taste this. What he did was very creepily take my straw, put it in his soda, and take his straw and put it in my soda and goes, now taste it. And I'm not going to lie. I felt a little intimidated. Like something's bad's going on here. Like I've been kidnapped or something.
That's a flex.
So I did. And then I said, it's the same soda. And he's like, no, he goes, no, you're right. I think we both got that. I go, no, I'm drinking the same soda out of your straw.
Right. That's,
I really did not realize what I did. I thought I
great,
switched
Andrew.
the sodas around. And so Dave is like staring at me, and I'm like, he's annoyed that I switched his soda. Oh, sorry, Dave. Just try it now. It'll be diet this time. Because you had already said like this is awfully spicy for a diet, and I tasted mine. And I was like, oh, this is definitely diet. And so I was like, I'm gonna switch these out and show everybody. So I switched, and so Dave was like, okay, and takes a drink, and I was
It was
like,
very creepy.
and he goes, you didn't switch the sodas.
That's also like, you can't tell the difference.
What do you mean?
I'm not great at it.
No, you're not.
I'm not
But
great
you
at
drink
it.
both though.
I do.
So
go
I
back
can
and
see
forth.
that, like, if you don't drink one or the other, like, I never drink regular Coke or anything like that. I would know instantly if it's.
Well, it's also like it's harder from a fountain because it's like sometimes you just get a lousy.
Yeah.
No, that's true. You get a
Sometimes
bad mix.
it's flat
I can
or a bad mix or
definitely-
whatever.
If you give me a can of Coke and a can of Coke Zero, I can tell.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, there
really?
are times I can't
Yeah.
tell when it comes to like
you can
fountain
tell
stuff.
between zero and regular.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't at all.
Because regular's so much better.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
doing Coke. I
It's
mean,
like a reward.
wonderful.
It's like a reward.
No, sometimes you get a diet and you're like, this tastes too good to be a diet.
Yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of the McDonald's Diet Coke.
Randy
Like theirs
says,
is better.
Randy says he misses Tony and Mark. I do too. The day they both said that they were leaving the show to retire and then went and did another job. The next day. I really miss that about him. No, I miss both my boys. Talk to them quite often,
Hope the printing press is going well.
and they're both doing very well.
That's funny. Is that going to be like my move too?
It seems to be everyone's move with me.
Mark was on the next day.
Yeah,
He was on the evening shift on Casey
Yeah.
after leaving this show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He left the show at 4 and he was on there at 7.
which I don't get. Like, I have a lot of character flaws, but being mean to people leaving the show has never been one of
Just
them.
like, hey guys, I'm doing something else.
Yeah,
That's
congratulations.
cool. Yeah.
Go do it. Have your own show.
Just people don't like awkwardness, I guess, right?
I guess.
It's just that less awkward moment in person.
It wasn't like I wasn't going to hear him on Casey.
Right.
You know?
Sure, that's a good point.
Like, oh, that retirement
That's
lasted
the shocking.
48 hours.
That sounds a lot like fun.
You're driving home the next day. You're like, what?
I still think about either you or Tony saying they have never peed on their leg in the urinal. Wow. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Then he says lies.
Lies.
I peed pretty much everywhere, but I don't think on my leg.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, sometimes, as men know, it's uncontrollable.
Well, there's also like
It's like once a quarter,
the splash happens.
it just like goes crazy. And then
Yeah.
all bets are off.
But even aside from that, there can be splash.
There are variations.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not like I don't know, maybe that's just how I'm thinking of it. Like, I don't think I've ever peed on my leg.
Right?
Probably gotten pee on the leg.
Mr. Perfect.
No, that's a different thing. I
No,
think.
Mr. Perfect
I'm
never
with him.
peed on himself. Must be
Splashback
great.
is a lot different than the direct action.
Yeah. Randy says splatter.
Yeah, splatter is normal. Can't do anything about it.
The thing that sucks about using a public bathroom as a woman is some women hover over the toilet and some don't. And the hoverers
Oh, no.
will sometimes splatter
Oh.
urine onto the toilet seat, and then it's everyone else's problem.
Yeah, I learned about this recently. Somebody was complaining about there being pee on the seat in a women's restroom, and I'm like,
Just like,
So
I'm not
did the-
sure that's possible, but no, that's what they
Are
said.
if you know, are the hoverers trying to avoid pee or just being where someone else's
I
butt
don't think
was?
they want to put their butt where other butts have been.
See, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
who cares?
That's the whole reason to sit down.
These gals are crazy.
It's literally a place made for butts.
Yeah, that's your
Literally.
butt
Yes.
spot.
It's the
Yeah.
butt zone
Isn't that interesting?
where
that
we all go
someone-
to put our
like,
butts where other butts have been.
Toilet seats are basically all the same, which means that at some point, some guy named Gary like cut it out
Yeah.
and had Martha sit on it, and she's like, it's a little big, it's a little small.
So they switched a couple years ago. I think Trish was still on the show. They switched the toilet seat of the big girls' bathroom here. The big girls, the big girls'
I
bathroom.
was like,
here.
"Whoa, where's
And
that?
I very rarely use that bathroom, but every time I do now, when I sit down, I'm like, whoa, this is
It's
different.
different.
This is different type of seat.
What are you guys' thoughts on the what I call the grandmother seat, which is the one that's like cushioned? It's like
Oh.
got the cushion in it, and everybody's grandma had it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about
I
that? Is
don't
that
feel like that's super sanitary.
it creeps
Yeah.
me out to sit on that?
I don't like how
I've
it's
not
like
sat on one
when you
since I was a
sit down.
kid at my grandma's. And yeah, you would like I was 10 and I immediately felt old.
Yeah.
Like you're just, especially when you go.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
Now my other one, the one I thought was my rich grandpa, who I now know just had terrible credit, had an acrylic toilet seat with pennies in it.
Oh, sweet.
And that
Oh,
was one
yeah,
reason I
mine-
thought he was so rich. Like this guy's
He's got
literally
money.
pooping on money.
Yeah.
They didn't have the seat part where you sit, but the lid had. They had
Yeah.
the squishy seat, and then the lid had pennies.
Mm.
And I was like, we're all over the place.
I'm
here.
pretty sure you sat on the pennies with this one.
Oh, very interesting.
It's how
I
Glover's
like.
roll.
I like that. I would have that
Um,
now.
Boy, we're going long on this segment. Tell you guys about Triton Exteriors. I'm looking out the window and it's dark and it's raining. We have some straight line winds coming in later on, especially down south. Just know that today or any day this spring and summer, if you have any sort of storm damage, first of all, look out for storm chasers. They're a real thing. They took advantage of my mom a couple years before she passed away. We will get up on your house, on your roof, and we'll tell you whether you have damage sufficient to support an insurance claim. You got to be careful about getting the insurance people up there first because they can hurt you, even if you end up not putting in a claim. So call Triton Exteriors. We also do elective things like siding and gutters and fences will almost always be the middle bid because we don't cut corners and we don't take advantage of people. We are an upscale company out of Webster, James Hardy, and Smart Siding, which, by the way, if you have that, you're not sweating the storm at all today. 314-717-1159, Triton-STL.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it. Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that KMOX sent you. Spell it forward, spell it backward. It's always the same, Zero Res.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DG Ask 104.1 FM KMOX. You know what I was thinking about this morning? I'm going to make people mad when I say this, but there are only like 2 of them, so I'm not that worried, and I think I can beat them up. Orchestras seem to continue to exist because we feel like we got to keep doing something that 2% of people enjoy and 98% of people pretend to once every 20 years. Get dressed up and go to the symphony. I'm just being honest.
I don't know if that's factually correct.
Those numbers I made those numbers up, but I think they're pretty good. 2% love going to the symphony. Yeah. Have you seen the new oboist? And then all the rest of us are like, that sounds kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put on a suit and go. And the first couple of songs, movements, pieces, you're like, why don't I do this all the time? And then by the third tune, you're reminded why you don't do it because it's so friggin' boring. And you're like, we could go eat right now.
I mean, you described me. I'm just not sure on the percentages.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the exact same way, to be fair.
Yeah.
See? But I also,
Andrew? Yeah, I will sometimes go to concerts of like music that I like, video game music. Like they'll play the score of like a video game or something that I enjoy. And this is music that I listen to on like my own time. So I'm like, man, seeing this performed orchestrally is going to be wonderful.
You're listening to video music on your own time?
Yeah, sometimes. Some of that stuff's real good.
Like Super Mario and stuff?
No, more intricate than Super Mario, but I will listen to some Super Mario.
You're going to listen to the ding?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much in my head 24/7. But by the end of those, like songs I already know and I'm very familiar with and enjoy, I'm like, boy, you got a couple more of these still, don't you?
Yeah.
Boy, you guys don't seem like you're winding down at all.
I mean, it seems like scam's the wrong word.
So you think it's just like a mass like delusion,
yes.
Like we're all keeping it
yes.
together for no reason.
And I'm sure there are many other things that people out there can think of that we all just got together and pretended we really liked.
Huh. Well, according to AI, Dave, 10 to 15% of Americans have a quote unquote close or moderate relationship with classical music.
So I'm not that far off.
Not that far off.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain.
I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Tell you guys about my buddy, Dr. Corey Solman. Just had someone here at work, one of my coworkers, who was having a knee problem. And I told her, you got to go to Solman. He's the best. I called, greased the wheels, got her in. She's doing a, arthroscopic thing to check it all out and clean it all out and stuff. She just raved and raved about him, how nice he was. So I guess I'm just using that as an illustration to show that I'm not lying all the time when I talk about how great Corey is, his bedside manner, whether it's you, an adult, it's your kids who maybe tore something playing soccer or, kick the can or whatever, or an elderly loved one who may need a hip replacement or a knee replacement. No one's going to be better in the operating room, and no one's going to come close to him in the consultation room. He's going to make everyone feel comfortable with what's going on, and if he can avoid surgery, he will. He's out in Chesterfield now. You can call him at 636-231-5881 or SolmanOrthopedics.com.
It's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
Let's keep the atmosphere kind of juicy as we go through the next several days. We've got another shot of a batch of rain and thunderstorms mid to late afternoon. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, windy. I think the real focus is going to be to our south, but we have to watch it carefully. 75 for the high. Lots of clouds around tonight, some showers, a couple of spot storms, 60. Wednesday, periods of showers and thunderstorms. Best chance for thunderstorms will be Wednesday afternoon. 76 for the high. Thursday, mainly showers, nothing more than a couple of spot thunderstorms, 76. It's all gone for Friday and the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The mountains came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call, even though it's late, JerryKelly.com.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with Fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers, eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tonight, the Cards, the Reds.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is sponsored by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Our buddy Ricky Horton joins us. Hello, Rick.
Hey, good to be with everybody.
So a question for you, Rick. Our road record, as you know, is abysmal, 2-12.
It is.
And my question for you is, in baseball in general, and in particular to the 2025 Cardinals, do we think of that as being a coincidence? Like, oh, we have a better record when the sun's shining as opposed to when it's cloudy. Or do we think, nope, there's something about being on the road that doesn't agree with these players?
Yeah, I think it's too early to say the latter, but I don't think I fully would say the first either. I think clearly you're going to have a home field advantage. That means something. Guys are, sleeping in their own beds, or they're home and they're in their normal routines, especially for young players. I think that's a thing. But honestly, I feel like you almost have to be a third of the way through the season before you kind of fully, the Cardinals could lose 8 games in a row at home and they could win 8 games. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I just think that drawing a conclusion, you always have to be careful with baseball when you try to draw a conclusion based on a snapshot of where you are at the moment. The snapshot after 12 games, we would say, best offense in the National League, maybe the best offense in baseball. And we don't think that now, but who knows what we'll think in 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
It is fascinating too, Rick, because and you're right. It's in April, it's just too random. It's not enough games to really measure it.
Yeah.
And there's a part of this that doesn't make sense, which tells me there's randomness to it rather than an explanation. And that is typically Busch is not favorable to hitters, but the Cardinals are killing it at home. And they've played in some good hitters ballparks and not had numbers. When you kind of combine all of that, you just we got to wait. We're gonna need another probably month's worth of games to see if there's anything we learn from this.
Yeah. So the game yesterday, I mean, there's an example of that in the game yesterday, and I feel like the best way to describe this Cardinal team is they're on the edge. I mean, their margin is so small. If they make a mistake or if something doesn't go their way, it's harder to win. I mean, you've got to do kind of everything right based on their youth, and it's not a high payroll team, and they're building towards something, and all that's the fact that we all know. But if Mason Wynn's bunt is 3 feet further yesterday on a first and second situation, if he gets that bunt down, he needed to bunt it more to the third baseman, and it was just a single play in the game. The next ball Lars Nootbaar hits drives in 2 runs, and the Cardinals are leading 3-0 at the time, and maybe the game's different. And now again, we could do coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe all day long. But I do think that's kind of the edge that the Cardinals are on, where you can kind of point to a moment and go, oh man, that kind of sunk you. A lot of close games the Cardinals are losing.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
So the way that we play this frustrating game of wringing our hands and who's going down to Memphis, and it's JC because he needs this, and Pereira is going to fill this spot. Is this something that every team does at this level, or do we seem to have a special heap and helping?
Well, that's a good question. There are, let's just say there are segments of everybody's fan base that does this all the time. It's part of what makes baseball and the world go round and round. I mean, people love that. I mean, it's a game where it invites opinions and invites, different opinions. And I think this guy should be here and this guy should be there. I mean, it's kind of part of fandom, I think. Now, in some cases, it gets a little meaner than it should be. And that's the part I particularly don't like. I don't like it at all. It's like, look, these are human beings. So let's, be civil about it, which I would say, we add that into politics and anything else you're talking about. But the point is, every team has an element of that. I think we have more of it because we're in this kind of new territory in the Cardinal world. And it's not new because as if the Cardinals have never been through it. I mean, you can go back to the early 1900s. Now that's going way back, or you can go back to the 70s, or you can go back to the early 90s. I mean, it's not like as if it's never happened before. It's just not in recent memory.
Let me say one thing. I'm going to fall on my sword on this one because I am not only a baseball fan, a Cardinals fan. I do PM Drive on the Cardinals flagship station. But I found myself recently being negatively emotional about Miles Mikolas. For no reason. Because, first of all, he's not sucking. He's had some good outings. Second of all, he's probably a hell of a nice guy. But it is something in sports that you got to be careful because that hobgoblin in your mind will take something. And next thing you know, you hate this guy. Or I wish this guy would this or that. And it's just so kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny you said. I mean, it is. I mean, we get it though. We all get what you just said. You're just saying it out loud, which is so. Thanks for that, Dave. I mean, but we all get this sense of, and we all catch ourselves doing it. I might do it more in soccer and just like, oh, I can't stand that guy. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even know that guy. I mean, literally, it's dehumanizing, honestly. And I just don't think it's honestly, it's actually. I always think of it as, I'm not hurting. Let me pick a player, LeBron James, who I don't happen to dislike. But let's say I didn't like him. It's not going to hurt LeBron James if I make a comment that I don't like him. I think that hurts me. It lessens me personally when I do that. So I feel like that's a lesson, maybe a philosophical lesson for all fans to just kind of remember that guy might live next door to you. He might be your long lost cousin. I mean, they're people that. Yes, sometimes they frustrate you because they don't play well, but that's not. That doesn't mean we have to demean them personally. Just we don't like their performance.
Right. That's always been my line. Criticize the performance and not the person.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like when you're there, you don't get any pushback from anybody. I've never had anybody get mad at me because it's never about the person. It's always about what's happening. What's measurable, what's happening on the field, and it gets to be. I think in reading all this, Rick, and you've been here longer than I have in the city, but I've been here for 18 years, and this particular brand of fan that is upset all the time is relatively new, and I think it's because these 3 years are different than the 20 years that came before, because for 20 years it was we're winning the division all the time, and we're the hated team in the division and all of that. But what we described is happening right now in Minnesota. It's happening right now in Baltimore, big time. I mean, the Orioles were supposed to be contenders. They're 11-17. They didn't make moves. So there are a lot of teams right now where that exact same dynamic is in play. And you just don't see it. So a lot of fans don't pay attention. And they think it's only their team doing these things when really it's just a state of the game.
So true. It's like thinking your marriage is the only one that's this or that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, clearly we can point to just that, we can point to COVID's influence on that. We can point to social media's influence on it. And all that is part of it. But, again, the fun of it, to me, the fun of baseball is not, is Mason Wynn really trying? And boy, he didn't do a good job of, or boy, what's the matter with him? He didn't get that bunt down the right way. No, it's just the talk about the bunt itself. What does a bunt that's 10 feet further do for the Cardinals in that situation? That's baseball. That's not demeaning Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn, I'm glad he's playing shortstop for the Cardinals every day. I mean, he's a great talent. Another good example to talk about is Ollie Marmol has been sharing with us and just how much it's hurting him and how close he is and how much he's rooting for Jordan Walker, who's been struggling offensively. This and his comment, he keeps saying it. This guy cares. Trust me, he's worked. He knows that he's having trouble with a slider down and away. You don't have to, you don't have to say that. He knows it. Trust me, he's a big leaguer, but he's not performing. He's not hitting that pitch. He can't feel it, and he's off. But it's not a lack of trying and not a lot of effort or work. It's just not clicking for him.
I have a Dave question, if you guys don't mind. So I'm a little long in the tooth for this, but maybe 20 years ago, if I persuaded you to take me out on a Sunday afternoon and teach me to throw a curveball, by evening, would I be throwing a baby curveball, or do you have to be elite to make a ball move like that?
You would be just as likely to be asking me for Dr. Paletta's cell number so you can have surgery on your elbow. I think if we were throwing them all day, Dave, well, I do think there's an anatomical, value that some people have, kind of the way, honestly, the way the way your shoulder capsule rotates, the way there's people would do a long thing about how long your forearms are, or how long your fingers are in terms of being able to throw certain pitches, and a lot of studies on those things. So I would say it's hard to just kind of have anybody do it. I mean, certainly there'd be improvement, but I wouldn't have you as my setup guy yet, quite Dave. But yes, there'd be improvement. I mean, certainly the coaching and the teaching makes people better. But I think that in some degrees your anatomy kind of comes into
Wheels,
play.
do you do curveballs in 14 and under?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can start at some of the studies that were done. James Andrews is one of the top elbow surgeons. They've did it. I don't remember how long ago it was, that it really turns out it's not curveballs that are causing injuries. Or breaking balls. It's just too many max effort throws. And for kids, it means you pitch and you throw too many pitches, and then you go play shortstop the next game, or you catch a game and then you pitch the next game. Like, that's the wear and tear that's going to hurt a kid's arm.
And here's the other thing about when you say curveballs, there's a way that most people in their mind conceptually think you throw a curveball, which involves you having the palm of your hand come underneath the ball and kind of twisting it. And that's going to hurt your arm. I don't care who you are. I don't care how strong you are. So throwing it right, as long as you're throwing it right, I would qualify. That study from Dr. Andrews is the qualification would be: are you throwing it with your fingers on top, and then in front of the ball, or are you throwing it where you're twisting it? Twisting it works on doorknobs, but not on curveballs.
Cool. I love having all my questions.
And by the way, Ricky, you'd be telling Dave to switch to a slider because of his arm angle.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. And maybe you'd have the best one around. Hey, let's try it.
Thank you, Rick. All right, let's do it.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs, which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
So if you would like a financial outlet, and maybe it's not even for you, maybe you're pretty financially savvy and solvent and you doubt you're going to need a signature loan, but you would like to get in on the ground floor with a credit union for your kids or even your grandkids. A lot of people, when I started doing my live endorsements for First Missouri Credit Union, a lot of people took their grandkids there and opened up joint accounts and matched. Hey, you want to put your, $50 from mowing the lawn this weekend? I'll match it, or I'll double it, or grandpa stuff. Credit unions are nicer. They are more amenable because you are an owner. You're not a customer. You're not a client. You are literally an owner. Even if you have $25 in your checking account, they're going to say yes as often as they can. And if they say no, they'll tell you why and how they can get to yes. If you could just this or if you could just that, they're going to pay you 4.27% on your checking alone, up to $100,000. That's pretty great. That's more than St. Louis banks are paying on certificates of deposit right now. If you're interested, 2 locations down on Lee May Ferry. One is brand spanking new, 314-544-5050, or the #1 stmocu.org.
I'm Danny Cohn, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. This past week, the Jewish holiday of Yom HaShoah commemorated the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust and remembered the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. As Jews, when we recall the atrocities of the Holocaust, we say, never again. This is not a slogan or a tagline. It's a responsibility we all share to prevent the systematic hatred from going unchecked. When we work together to fight against prejudice and bigotry towards everyone, we create a better community for everyone.
Termites cause over $5 billion in property damage every year, and most of it is not covered by homeowners insurance. Protect your biggest investment with Rottler's Proactive Termite Control. Schedule your inspection today. Visit Rottler.com to get started.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats? Or the joy of early bedtime? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Welcome back, DGS and KMOX. I need to call out the Cardinals for something.
Oh?
Cardinals corporate. They have a terrible television ad running right now, and it bothers me, and it bothers me as a marketer. It's stupid. So if you've seen it, the one about I wish everything was all-inclusive, like trying to sell their all-inclusive seats.
I don't think I've seen it.
And there's a lady who opens up her glove compartment, and there's steamed hot dogs. And then a lady has
That's Andrew's dream.
Has nacho cheese coming out of her coffee maker. And then the one that gets me is this dude opens up his dryer at home and it's full of cookies and he starts eating them. I've never understood why when you're selling food, you make it unappealing. Like when Raisin Nut Crunch or something years ago did the one where the guy had a broken jaw and he'd sucked it through a straw. It's so gross. Like, what? Now I don't want to eat your cereal, which before that I liked. And I just don't understand why people do marketing things like that. Like, now when I go to the Cardinals game and there's a chocolate chip cookie, I know it didn't come out of this white guy's dryer, but it feels like it might have. Does that make sense?
How have I not seen this?
I don't know. Maybe it's just on my TV.
I wonder if, no, but it wouldn't be. It should be to, well, I don't know. I do it on Prime. Do you do it on?
I don't know what I have.
Okay.
There's a big box.
I mean, maybe it's just that
button.
well, I'm a channel flipper though. So when I hit commercials, I'm probably on another game, but
yeah,
could be.
Yeah, the cheese thing sounds gross. The cheese coming
It's
out
all
of the coffee
gross.
maker.
The steamed hot dogs. I'm becoming my mom because when I would watch Brady Bunch and the kids would put too much detergent when I tried to do the laundry, and
and they had all the bubbles.
And they had all the bubbles. My mom was like, I can't watch this, just knowing that someone has to clean this up. And I can't watch that commercial knowing that the lady's never going to get the hot dog stink out of her car, even though it's a commercial.
I don't like it when I'm watching a show and someone walks into a house and doesn't close the door behind them. Like, who does that? Who just waltzes in and doesn't close the door? Leaving the door open for the general public makes no sense.
I've never seen this.
Oh, once you start looking for it, you'll notice it all the time.
Yep. I don't watch a lot of shows, so I miss stuff like that.
Casey says, I would not eat dryer cookies either. Thank you, Casey.
I would eat dryer cookies.
Would you?
Well, if they hadn't been spun around and smushed to bits.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you put a layer of cookies, I'm not insane.
Right.
And then you put another layer of cookies that haven't touched the dryer, I'm okay with that.
Oh, it's just touching the dryer?
It's just like if you take a cookie, I know it's been in my dryer. So, like washing out the front of my jeans in the kitchen sink and then throw them in the dryer instead of washing them. So I don't want cookies from my dryer.
I got you.
Yeah. Yours might be fine.
Well, I say like that's normally the cleanest anything will ever be because it's coming right out of the washer.
Ooh, not mine.
Okay.
No.
Although they're the occasional fresher uppers, but those are typically clean.
Fresher
Not
water?
always though. Like when you have a shirt that's wrinkly and you're like, I'll throw it in there for 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
It'll
a
be fine.
religion to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I'm a big fan.
Little squirt of cologne.
Oh,
Oh,
never
yeah.
done that. I
Yeah,
have done the
try it.
occasional Febreze.
Rachel's shaking her head at us.
Mm,
Is it such a boy thing?
kind of, yeah.
What if it's a clean shirt?
No, the spray of cologne. I just know, Dave. That's probably
yeah.
not a clean shirt.
I don't spray. I don't have any cologne. I don't have any.
None.
I don't think so.
No cologne at all.
I mean, if there's a jar or some jar, if there is.
What if I bought you cologne? Are you just not a cologne guy?
Just not a cologne guy.
What if it smelled like me?
Yeah, I have to think about that.
I'm going to get you a bottle of Adidas Moves.
What's that?
That was like the popular cologne when I was in like 7th and 8th grade.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had one from way back in the day, and I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes there was like, I don't even remember who gave it to me or if I bought it or if, I don't know.
I've always been into cologne.
Yeah.
I remember I would put Old Spice in my bath when I was about 10, and it started hurting my pee-pee.
Oh.
So I had to stop doing that.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
I used to use that stuff in like high school when you'd go out. And I just think I did it because everybody else did.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
want
have
to
a
be
long
the
history
loser.
with cologne.
Okay.
Andrew, you a cologne guy?
Sometimes. I dabble.
What's your poison?
I have this Coach something or other that I've been enjoying.
Ooh.
I know. I received it as a gift. It's quite nice.
The purse company or the television show?
It
smells like Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. Yeah.
My cologne is Speed Stick.
Rach, how about you?
I like to wear cologne, perfume, what have you, but I haven't lately because I bought this fancy deodorant. It's called Salt and Stone. And
Sounds
it smells,
fancy.
It smells
Sounds
really
like a
good.
Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah, and everyone in the comments on like the online place I bought it was like, I stopped wearing cologne. I get so many compliments on this. So I've kind of
Does it keep you from sweating?
No, it's actually like not the greatest deodorant. And on hot days I'm the type of person I have to wear like clinical deodorant.
Yeah, you and me
I'm
both, sister.
serious about it. So it's great for the winter. I'm gonna have to make the switch soon.
I'm not trying to be funny. I have a powerful mind, but only for the negative. Like I could make my armpits pit out right now just thinking about it. If I'm in a situation like I'm hosting an event or something, and it would be really bad if I pit it out, I can make myself pit out right this second. But it doesn't work the opposite.
Just by stressing about it.
Yeah, I can't think like I'm going to bench press, I'm going to max, and I'm going to no. But if I'm going to bench press and max, I can make myself fail. Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, you get it.
And you can just not try on the bench press thing.
Yeah, but like beyond that.
I get you.
Like I can make physical things happen.
Yeah.
But only the negative. Yeah.
That's
right now I'm trying not to make myself pit out. Because something in my brain goes, he said pit out.
Dude, I can tell you right now, if I was just wearing, you're not wearing much. You're just wearing like a t-shirt and what do you call, what's a zip
hoodie?
Yeah, hoodie with a zipper.
Yeah,
I would be pitted out immediately if I had that on in here for 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, not even a chance. I mean, t-shirts are already
even during wintertime.
Depends on the room. Like when it's freezing in here, no. But yeah, it's not at home. I almost never have hoodies or sweatshirts or anything on unless it's absolutely freezing outside.
Kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Again, turning it into my mom. Cold all the time. Don't want to eat dryer cookies.
Yeah, well, I bet there aren't very many people that have had a dryer cookie.
Maybe none.
Yeah, probably none.
Probably none.
That's probably a zero.
What
But
if you
now
turn the
somebody's gonna
dryer
do it.
on and now it's just like one big cookie?
No, it's now it's just crumbs.
It's a bridge too far.
It's just crumbs. You can't eat crumbs like that.
Tell you guys about the Gelman team. It is an interesting time. Interesting times usually aren't good. So I'm not going to blow sunshine and say like, oh man, it's white hot crazy out there, because you guys, you know the deal. And it really depends on your situation. It's going to depend on, most of all, your house. Is it worth $500,000? Is it worth $700,000? Is it worth $300,000? If it's worth $300,000, the Gelmans aren't going to make it worth $7,000. But if it's worth $5,000, they might be able to pump it up to $6,000. They're really good at that. They're really good at knowing how to stage a house, how to put a little bit of money. Like if they're asking to put in, hundreds of thousands of dollars, well, I could do that. But they're just really talented at that. They are master negotiators. They are great communicators. And this is a big one I don't talk about much. They're honest. Again, back to blowing sunshine. They're not going to do that with you. They're not going to tell you stories to get you to sign a real estate contract, only knowing that they're going to disappoint you down the road. That is a tactic a lot of agents use, not the Gelmans. If you want to find out what we think your house is worth right now online, go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com or call 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day. This month's Siteman Cancer Center spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smeltzer.
Testis cancer is a disease primarily of men 18 to 45. And so for men in that age segment, we recommend doing just a monthly testicular self-exam. And you can do this in the shower and just basically feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps on the surface of the testicle. And then, of course, if you find something like that, that's when you need to contact your doctor and get further workup.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got rain. It is 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. And it's been a stormy afternoon. Let's take you right now to the Weather Center. KMOX meteorologist Dave Murray with the latest as, again, it's been a stormy afternoon, Dave.
Yes, it has, Michael. And this thing is moving quickly. This is kind of the second batch. We had a batch early this morning, but right now this thing is running. It's approaching Salem, Centralia, Irvington, Mount Vernon, down to about Carbondale. That's the area that this line is involved in. It's basically gone past Tilden and Sparta. And Nashville, you're going to have it, let's say, for about another 5 minutes or so, and then it's gone. Around St. Louis, no threat of severe weather. There's still some rain around, and we're not done yet as far as rain and a couple of thunderstorms, kind of run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening, going into a very unsettled stretch that will take us right through Thursday. But the severe threat is moving away from Metro St. Louis. Michael?
Thank you very much, Dave Murray. We'll have the latest for you as we go through the afternoon. Unconfirmed reports that a tornado touched down in Potosi. KMOX spoke with Missouri Highway Patrol Corporal Dallas Thompson, just arrived at the scene at Potosi Elementary School, says all of the students are safe and accounted for. They went into their FEMA storm shelter as the potential tornado approached, and the students were safe. Corporal Thompson says south of the school, some structures may have been damaged, but again, no injuries at the Potosi Elementary School. Job cuts at UPS.
UPS is looking to slash 20,000 jobs and close more than 70 facilities. That's as it's drastically reducing the amount of Amazon shipments it handles. It plans to close 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June. UPS said that it's still reviewing its network and may identify more buildings to be closed. In January, UPS announced that it reached a deal with its biggest customer, Amazon, to lower its volume by more than half by the second half of next year. The company also said they'd partnered with Amazon for almost 30 years, and when its contract came up this year, UPS decided to reassess the relationship. The company says they considered a lot of options and found that cutting employees was the best alternative. UPS has close to 500,000 workers and plans to slash its workforce this year. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Turns out Amazon won't be listing extra charges on its products due to tariffs. Correspondent Matt Piper.
After White House blowback, Amazon says it won't display tariff costs next to online product listings. The company says it did consider it for its Haul service, a recently launched low-cost storefront, but says it was never approved and will not happen. Earlier, the White House lashed out at the Jeff Bezos-owned company, calling it a hostile and political act. The tariffs imposed by the president threatened to increase prices for both consumers and businesses.
The KMOX Business Desk, a reprieve for car buyers.
President Trump expected in Michigan tonight to mark his first 100 days in office by again flip-flopping on his tariffs, allowing U.S. automakers to apply for reimbursements on levies they pay on foreign auto parts, while imported cars will be exempt from separate duties on steel and aluminum. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is up 331 points to 40,559. We've got a crash on 55 going northbound at Butler Hill. That's on the right side of the road. Right lane, right shoulder are closed. 55 north at Butler Hill.
Let's keep the atmosphere kind of juicy as we go through the next several days. We've got another shot of a batch of rain and thunderstorms mid to late afternoon. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, windy. I think the real focus is going to be to our south, but we have to watch it carefully. 75 for the high. Lots of clouds around tonight, some showers, a couple of spot storms, 60. Wednesday, periods of showers and thunderstorms. Best chance for thunderstorms will be Wednesday afternoon. 76 for the high. Thursday, mainly showers, nothing more than a couple of spot thunderstorms, 76. It's all gone for Friday and the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sachs Financial. We've got rain, 71 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DG Ask 104.1 FM KMOX, a few minutes past 2 p.m. So I am doing endorsements for my friend Mark Cantor, Cantor Injury Law. We invited him to come in today and just kind of hang out. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the swag, the Cantor swag. I love it.
Good. I hope you wear it.
I don't own an umbrella.
Well, that's a big umbrella.
Yeah.
So
now you do, Dave.
I don't know that I've ever owned an umbrella.
Really?
I'm a grown man.
Huh.
How do I not have an umbrella?
Today's the day for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Mark it on the calendar.
Took me 60 years to get my first umbrella. Now I'm going to go crazy. That's going to become my new thing.
You're going to be like
You're just
Mary
be walking
Poppins.
around with it.
I'm going to be on eBay twirling it
It's
around
going to
like
be
a
80
cane.
and sunny out there, and you're just going to use it as a parasol.
So let's start with this. Just introduce yourself to the audience. Just anything you want to tell us. Like, you go back as far as you want to go back in Cantor world.
Thank you. I'm really proud to be from Missouri. My family's from here. My dad is a retired pediatric neurologist, and he instilled the love of helping people. And I think what I do is an extension of that. We keep the community safe at Cantor Injury Law. I've been doing it for 31 years, and I love the people I represent. And I live here, I work here, I play here. Like, we're the real deal in Missouri, as opposed to some of those folks that are advertising now that are just collecting cases and
Yeah.
aren't really from here.
Yeah. Not to crap on anybody, but people need to realize it's become a business model that you could go to Seattle or you could go to New York and buy advertising if you're licensed there and appear to be a New Yorker. And so that's what a lot of attorneys do now. They have offices in every state.
Right. I mean, it's a smart business model. They've copied after these insurance companies that are massive insurance companies that are in the business to make money. And their business model is working. But on a micro level, on an individual level, when you're hiring a lawyer, you got to say, who's really going to be going to court for me? Who's really here, and who is just advertising to collect the cases? And that's a big difference. There are a lot of great lawyers in Missouri. I have friends that do exactly what I do, and I think they're excellent. And at the top of the food chain in Missouri and Southern Illinois, we collaborate. We work with each other. And the players know who the players are. And when you see these people advertising, you got to be buyer beware. You got to look and ask, who's got the reputation.
That is impossible to overstate. In my 10 years of practicing and then just my 25 years of doing this, whether it's you with injury law or it's Susan L. Ward with divorce law, who you know and who knows you and what they think of you is so critical. That's all. Half the battle's almost won or lost when a defense attorney gets a new lawsuit and they look at it and they go, oh, it's Joe Blow. Don't worry about it too much. Or, oh, it's Cantor. Crap. That happens every single day.
Right. I mean, you've got to be able to go to court. You've got to have the financial wherewithal to fund these cases, because we can spend a fortune hiring experts and doing the things that we need to do to win. And then you got to have boots on the ground, and you've got to have the wherewithal and the spine to do it. And some lawyers just don't.
Yeah. Did you sniff around being a doctor at all with your dad being a neurosurgeon?
It's funny. I'm the biggest disappointment in the family.
It's a good family.
If you can't be successful, if you can't be a doctor, then be a lawyer. But actually, my parents, thank God, they're still living and great. I talked to my dad on the way down here. I have a brother and a sister, and they're both lawyers. So the doctor raised 3 lawyers.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
That's the family joke, is that if you were smart, you'd be a doctor.
Yeah, I always say, like, I was probably smart enough to be a doctor, but I would have been your favorite doctor your father died under my care, right? Like, oh, that Dr. Dave, he's the best. He's so funny, but I would have killed your dad. I mean, I just don't have that gear. As you know, doctors growing up with a neurosurgeon, they have a gear.
Right.
It's just different.
I love the compassion that my father has, and I mimic that. And he was a pediatric neurologist.
Yeah.
He served this community.
Wonderful.
Cardinal Glennon Hospital, and he still does grand rounds, and he's just a very loving, nice person. And, so the idea of helping people is critical to my practice, but, the biology and the math, and I'd much rather fight with someone than,
So let's talk about it coming from like the everyman standpoint, because everyone out there sees tons of television commercials for lawyers. And for the most part, they say kind of the same thing. What is it they should really be focusing on? What is really important when you're sussing out whether to hire you or this one or this one?
So ability. And you want to look at the team, where they are and what they're able to do. Look at the verdicts, look at their ratings. Are they AVO rated? Are they AV rated, which is the Martindale Hubbell's level of preeminent lawyers for both ethics and ability. I'm proud to be both AV rated and have a perfect 10 on the AVO score. And, do they try cases? Do they file lawsuits? Do they go to court? I'm blessed that now I have a large law firm, and I have lots of lawyers that have boots on the ground every day. But on the big cases, that's what I like to do, and dig into them. And I actually have 2 partners now, Brian Weinbright, who's brilliant, and Kevin Glenn, who was on the defense for 20 years. And, as you get a little bit older and more mature in this business, it's nice to bring these young lawyers and up and give them an interest, as well as many other lawyers and many paralegals. And
what do you look for when you're hiring someone and you have 5 people applying for the position? Like, is it pretty much trust your gut, or is it a resume piece? What do you look for when hiring lawyers?
Well, the cream rises, right? So the best of the best. So really, we hired a lot of people, and some people don't make it. They just don't have the grit and the determination. And, it's a stressful business. You're fighting for a living. The smart ones, the ones with the the grit and determination do. And that's how you get an interest, and that's how you become both my close friend and confidant and partner. These guys have earned it, and they're excellent lawyers. I'm really proud of the firm that we've created here. We're all local. We're from Missouri and Southern Illinois. Erica Beecher has been my paralegal for 15 years. She's the office manager. I watched all of her kids grow up. Amber Baker runs our workers' compensation department. I watched her and her kids and her husband, for their children's entire lives. And, Abby Peterson is our business manager. I mean, these people they're not just coworkers. These are people that I see every day, and I love them. I mean, they're, and they're here, and they care about our clients, and we're in the service industry. So we have to take care of our people. And I think we do that. So I think that what you want is a combination of intellect, ability, wherewithal, and empathy. And that's the way you get a good personal injury law firm.
Is there a subgenre of injury law that you personally, Mark Cantor, have always been drawn toward?
So, I really like trucking collisions, car accidents, and workers' comp. I mean, that's your bread and butter. That's the core of our business. And we handle a lot of those. And so, I'm in Missouri, you're not allowed to say that you're an expert in things. But we have a lot of expertise. I think that, to the layperson, you'd say those guys are experts because it's all we do. But the bar doesn't let you call yourself an expert.
Right.
So, so saying it like a lawyer, we have a lot of expertise in those areas.
Yeah. One thing when I see other lawyers advertising that I do agree with is to be very careful about talking to insurance companies on your own. Having represented them for most of my career when I was a defense attorney, they're not bad people. You just have to know what they're trying to do. They've got a job.
They've got a bad motive. So their motive, they might be super nice people, but their motive in calling you and getting that recorded statement is to lock you into a position that saves them money. They're fighting your case from the moment they get it. And this is $1 billion insurance company in certain cases. And they're calling you and they're getting a recorded statement and they're asking you to sign things. And then later their lawyer is going to take your deposition, which is a sworn statement under oath you're aware of, but your audience may not be. So they take your sworn statement and then they compare it to your prior recorded statement or to a handwritten note and then to your medical records. And they're trying to create doubt in front of a jury when you just lost your leg in a car accident. You're on medication and in pain and you're lying there in the hospital and some insurance adjuster comes and shoves a microphone in your face and wants to take a recorded statement. You need to stop and think, what's going on here. And there's a lot of great lawyers. It doesn't have to be Cantor Injury Law. I mean, I would hope that it would be, but they need to be represented because otherwise they're going to get cheated by $1 billion insurance company that's fighting some little, and they might only have $100,000 of insurance and you might cut off your underinsured motorist claim or your uninsured motorist claim or your homeowner's insurance claim or the umbrella policy. You've got to look at all the stacks of insurance and make sure that you get them all. And you really need a lawyer to do that because you're simply outgunned without representation.
So I'm just curious, almost personally, when I was practicing all those many years ago, St. Louis City was a venue plaintiffs' attorneys wanted to be in. Southern Illinois, Madison County, St. Clair County, St. Louis County, and not so much. Have those things stayed largely the same or have they flipped a little bit?
I think largely the same. The verdicts in the city are going to be significantly better than in the county or St. Charles. But you know what? A good case is a good case, whatever it is. And you can take very conservative people that aren't likely to give a large verdict. But if they get hot and they get angry, and a lot of these defendants, the person you're suing deserves that anger or their insurance companies. In Missouri, you don't get to tell the jury that there's insurance. So that, of course, but your listeners may not. I mean, you don't get to say, hey, it's not really this guy that we're suing that's going to pay. It's, State Farm, Allstate, American Family, Safeco, AIG. It's one of those.
We're going to have you on often and we'll cover everything when it comes to personal injury cases. But let's start today. We only got a couple minutes left here, but it's such an important topic, comparative negligence.
So comparative fault, Missouri is a pure comparative fault state, which means that if you're 99% at fault, and the defendant is 1% at fault, and you have $100,000 worth of damages, you can get $1,000 for their 1%. And so that's what comparative fault means. So that means that you don't have to be completely free of liability. But if it's 80% the other guy's fault and it's 20% yours, in Missouri, you win. Now in Illinois, if you're more than 50% at fault, you're out. And so there's a lot of debate about what the law should be and where it is. And but that's where it is in Missouri.
Yeah.
We're a pure comparative fault state.
One last thing, because clearly, frankly, we want people to call you. But if someone's sitting at home, they've been injured, but they're a tough guy, and they don't want to look like not a tough guy. They don't want to look like they need help. What can we tell them to encourage them, err on the side of getting help?
Right. So after an injury, it's usually the guys that are like that. They don't want to complain, and they don't want to be litigious. They're saying, I'm not so happy. What I tell them is, you're still a tough guy, but now's not the time to be tough, because someone else caused these harms and losses, and the insurance company doesn't care. They want to save all the money they can. So in a year, if your opinion changes on that, and you haven't gotten the medical care that you need, I'm not telling anyone to go and get fraudulent medical care. In fact, I don't want any fraudulent cases in my office. I don't want the BS claim where there's no injury and
Hurts your reputation.
Hurts my reputation. There's certain firms that are trying to collect all of those and advertise for them all, and they're a huge machine, and they want the $3,000 ridiculous case. I think that case damages our system, and I won't take it. But if you have a real case, like the person that you just described, it's not the time to be the tough guy. If someone else caused that harm, and you need to be compensated for it. And it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's get what you're owed. It's compensation. It's not to unduly weight it. It's to get back to where you were. And sometimes that's $100,000, and sometimes it's $20 million. That's up to a jury.
Yeah.
And not to the insurance company.
If you or someone who you know and care about has been injured, or God forbid is in the future, know that you have help. You can call Mark at 314-628-9999, or just remember Cantor, CANTOR, CantorInjuryLaw.com. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. And remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision. So shop around and don't base it solely upon advertisements. But I'm happy to help anyone that calls. There's no emergency like a new case.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
So Underdog Fantasy Sports app is a way to have fun. The very last thing I say to you when I do my endorsement for Underdog is, if you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Go to ncpgambling.org and get the help that you need. And I personally could not mean that more. Everyone's different, right? For me, not a problem. I have a great time playing Underdog. Put $20 here, put $50 there. I don't like things that are hard. I like things that are simple and intuitive. And so when they brought me in with Underdog, they showed me how to use it. I couldn't believe that was all there was to it because it's so simple. You go into the app, you download it, use promo code Glover, get up to $1,000 to play with. You then pick a sport and you pick a team, you pick a player or 2 or 3, 4, and you look at a stat and you pick higher or lower. That's it. LeBron is going to get 25 points. Nope. Think it's going to be higher. Nope. Think it's going to be lower. And if you pick right, you win money, sometimes a substantial amount of money. Andrew and I have been doing pretty well. We play Underdog, several times a week. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole Megillah. In the NBA right now, we're trying something out, which has been very successful. People having a great time with it, called the Extender. So you play game 1 of a playoff series, you get a 40% boost. Game 2, you play, you get a 50% boost in your profit, 60% boost, all the way up to 100% boost token if a game 7 is needed. Again, download it using promo code Glover, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. If you are the person that is concerned with their play, by all means call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Once you do it, you'll ask yourself, why did we wait so long? I'm talking about making your outdoor space the place that you've always dreamed of, whether you'd like it to be Party Central or your personal place of rest and relaxation, or a combination of the two. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can make that magic happen for you. So just give them a call or stop by their beautiful showroom and warehouse in the Chesterfield Valley, or online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best, because other places may offer you a rock bottom price, but you have to consider what kind of a value you're getting when that deck or fence starts splintering, cracking, the nails popping out just one season later. Chesterfield Fence and Deck guarantees their work. They have their own crews with years of experience installing these outdoor projects, and they stand behind everything they do. So it is a true value because it lasts for years to come and it'll look gorgeous. Mention me, Debbie Monterey, and get 20% off your next outdoor project, chesterfieldfence.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app and now at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DGS 224. You know how Everest is now just a bunch of orthodontists climbing? They are instituting a new rule, which I think is great, that to get a permit to climb Everest, you have to, I believe it's only one, could be multiple, but you have to at least summited one 23,000-foot peak.
All right, so there's some qualification.
There's some qualification.
There should be to climb the biggest mountain in the world.
Yes.
Right?
And that's been the problem is we've all seen the videos and the photos of people just stacked for hundreds and hundreds of yards trying to get to the top of Everest. And most of them have very little, if any, experience. And the Sherpas are just dragging their asses up there.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not that it doesn't take work, but you should absolutely have done that before.
Yes. Before going to
let's go straight to the biggest one.
Yeah. It's like if you could drive in the Indy 500, but you'd never really been in a car like that.
You've never driven an Indy car before.
Right.
That'd be a little bit dangerous.
Probably about the same amount of dangerous.
I say this is the point, right? It's like that's one of the things that happens is the people themselves, the climbers themselves are at risk, but then that also puts the Sherpas and some of the other experts at risk too.
Yeah.
And why take the risk? Just do something similar.
Beppy says, Dave, you ever bummed that it got douchey before you climbed it? Beppy, I never would have climbed it.
Yeah.
I know my limitations. And even if I could have done it physically, I don't know if I have the stones for it. I don't know if I have the guts.
Yeah. There was a time
I would have done it, but I guess I'm just different.
Yeah. There was a time when I probably.
Yeah, I guess if it wasn't so lame now, I would totally do it.
Yeah. No, there was a time I probably would have, like, I was dumb though. I mean, like when I was in my 20s, I basically would have done anything. But I don't know that I would have succeeded in seeing the films that I've seen and looking at the video and all that. I don't know if I would have succeeded at it.
I would love.
I mean, that looks like one of the most physically taxing things you can do.
I had a friend of mine who's a big mountain climber, and she's summited many, many peaks, but she climbed to base camp, which I believe is 21,000 feet, which is twice as high as I've ever, no, not quite. I've been 13, 14. But that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, you still have to acclimatize and it's still rigorous and you get to go to base camp, but the real dangers is when you go up from there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, not that it isn't, but it just looks like a terribly long trek.
Yes.
Yeah. Who has the time?
Well,
Joel's bringing up the guy who had to be rescued on Mount Fuji twice in 1 week because he was looking for his phone.
Yeah.
Idiot. Idiot.
I don't be mean, but just leave him up there. I mean
well, after the third time's the charm at that point. It's like, all right, you obviously just want to be.
No, you definitely send him the bill. Right?
Yeah, I think you send the bill to everybody.
Yeah, that's a good
whether
point.
it's a boat. Yeah.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hey, it's Trish, ready to do that bathroom remodel? While many companies are raising prices due to tariff uncertainty, Michael's Bass is doing the opposite. They're offering $500 off any shower or tub replacement and $1,000 off a full bathroom remodel, turning market challenges into savings for their customers. Michael's Bass remodel bathrooms all over St. Louis, 5-star reviews on Google, and A+ rating with the BBB. Locally owned, family owned, Michael's Bass, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbass.com.
I'm Danny Cohn, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. This past week, the Jewish holiday of Yom HaShoah commemorated the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust and remembered the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. As Jews, when we recall the atrocities of the Holocaust, we say, never again. This is not a slogan or a tagline. It's a responsibility we all share to prevent the systematic hatred from going unchecked. When we work together to fight against prejudice and bigotry towards everyone, we create a better community for everyone.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We take you now to Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Let's keep the atmosphere kind of juicy as we go through the next several days. We've got another shot of a batch of rain and thunderstorms mid to late afternoon. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine, windy. I think the real focus is going to be to our south, but we have to watch it carefully. 75 for the high. Lots of clouds around tonight, some showers, a couple of spot storms, 60. Wednesday, periods of showers and thunderstorms. Best chance for thunderstorms will be Wednesday afternoon. 76 for the high. Thursday, mainly showers, nothing more than a couple of spot thunderstorms, 76. It's all gone for Friday and the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So if you are looking to advance your retail management career, Schnucks has a great opportunity for you. They are hosting a virtual management hiring event on May 7th. That is coming up quick. They are looking for talented, dynamic leaders to fill assistant department manager roles, department manager, co-manager, and store manager roles. So positions open everywhere, and don't hesitate to apply. And if you're wondering about the benefits, Schnucks has you covered with some great perks. You get great health and dental benefits, but you also get a 10% discount on Schnucks brands for you and for your family. You get tuition reimbursement, retirement benefits, and plenty of opportunities to advance. So apply before May 7th to take part in the virtual hiring event. Just head to schnucks.com/careers, search for the virtual hiring event job posting, then apply. A Schnucks recruiter will contact you within 48 hours to set up an interview. That's schnucks.com/careers.
There's an old joke about Uncle Sam's new tax short form. The first line says, "How much did you make?" The next line says, "Send it in." Really, not that funny, but that's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay taxes. Steve All of the All Financial Group invites you to take their tax challenge. What if your current plan included thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes and fees, or maybe higher Medicare premiums or a lower Social Security check? What if the savings you realized could allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about that right now? Take the All Financial Group Tax Challenge and find out. There's no charge. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Tonight, the Cards, the Reds.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX 233. Happy Tuesday. Okay, I've been dreading this. I don't want to do it, but I feel like I don't have a choice. The new Roman Empire is, could 100 men kill a silverback gorilla?
In hand-to-hand combat.
In hand-to-hand combat.
Right. Like, obviously, we've done that with guns and stuff.
No weapons.
Yeah.
You just got to fight the gorilla.
Yeah.
First of all, the gorilla would be super confused.
Yeah, why are all these people trying to fight me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd be like, whoa, I thought we were on the same side here.
Right.
Thought we were cousins. Come on now.
I don't even understand why this is a debate. 100 men? You better be able to take down one gorilla.
Nope.
Oh,
could not happen.
I was going to say.
100 to 1.
Could not happen.
But the one's a gorilla.
I've gone back and forth on this 3 or 4 times, right? Because the first reaction was, oh, gorilla, of course. And then I started listening and like, yeah, but 100 guys. Look, it's all. This is the problem with this argument or this conversation is we got to set parameters, right? Are they soldiers? Are they MMA fighters? Are they average guys?
Don't matter.
It could, but the argument that started to sway me a little bit was, hey, 100 guys could use a plan and tactics and distractions and do all these things and maybe wear the gorilla down and do it. And then I saw a biologist talk about it. He's like, man, you can't hurt it. You can't hurt it. You can't break its bones because they're 8 times as dense as human bones. You can't hurt him with a punch because their muscles and their skin are so thick that he won't even feel it. You can't get up and like gouge his eyes because he'll bite your arm off. And they are so strong. Like how much I saw this yesterday and I was shocked. If you were to, if there was some way to test it and say, this gorilla is going to bench press. How much do you think a gorilla could bench press?
1,000 pounds.
4,000 pounds.
Okay.
They can lift 1,300 pounds, just like pull it off the ground while they're standing. They have the 5th strongest bite of any animal on the planet.
You know a lot about this topic.
I looked it up because all of this stuff, this conversation got in my head. It became my new Rome.
And if a gorilla hits you,
you're dead.
You're dead. It doesn't matter where or how or with what part of the gorilla's body. If he hits you, you are dead.
Their grip strength, they can crush your skull just by grabbing your head and squeeze it. That's how strong their grip is. Now,
Rachel disagrees.
After learning all of this stuff, it is a fascinating thing that would never happen because, first of all, you'd have to have 100 dudes that don't care about dying.
Right.
Because at least half are dying. The question is, can the group of 100 outlast the gorilla until it just wears out and then you can take advantage of the fatigue? But I don't know, man. How do you how do you hold down something that's 450 pounds and can bench press 4,000 pounds?
Let's hear Rachel's take. Rachel seems like she disagrees.
I just feel like, yeah, you're probably going to lose some men. There's probably
you're
some guys
gonna
going
lose
down.
some men. Yeah.
But you should be able to all jump on them at the same time.
But you can't. There's
but
not
the thing
enough
here,
space.
consider this. If you had 100 ants on you,
yeah,
you would not die from the ants because the ants can't hurt you. Like, you could all jump on the gorilla
what's more to
and start
scale?
wailing on them.
Like, what's more to scale? Like,
Yeah.
if 100 cats?
A
jumped on me?
100 little baby kitties are all
No.
trying to beat you to death with their hands.
It would be more like, I think, a group of like 6-year-olds.
I think
Like, could 100 6-year-olds
could
take you?
me
Oh,
out.
yeah, but that's the thing.
If they're from South Roxana, they could.
But listen, Rachel's bones are not 8 times as dense as a 6-year-old. Her
How do you know that?
her
No, that's a good
skin,
point.
her skin is not 8 times as dense as she does not have the bite strength of 56-year-olds.
The 6-year-olds could bite you and break skin. There's nothing we can do with our hands and teeth to break the skin of the gorilla.
This is why I dreaded this.
But it's now. There's 2 parts to this to me. Like, one is it is fascinating to go like that thing is just special, right? Like that gorillas are amazing. Like the fact that this is even a discussion, and it is an actual discussion that experts have kicked around because, of course, it went viral. And there are a lot of people who study gorillas who are saying like, man, the gorilla's probably going to get you, all 100 of you. But then there are others that are pointing out that, and I think rightfully, that human beings have the advantage of numbers and creativity and strategy in that
and
fight.
back to my original joke, and take it out of being a joke. To be a fair fight, the gorilla, you have to assume, is motivated to kill all 100 of you.
Right.
I think if 100 humans jumped on a gorilla, they would mostly just be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, but I do think their instinct would kick in, right? I mean, if you start charging them, they're going to be in self-defense mode if they feel like there's a threat, because they charge at humans all the time just because they, even by you being in their presence, you're a threat. So I don't know that part would be the issue. But then the other question I think is really the interesting one is, what kind of people do we really think we're sending in there?
Yeah.
Because you're going to see the first 4 guys get their arms torn off and their heads smashed into oblivion, and you're going to go in?
That's too much logic. You're using too much logic.
Because I think a lot of dudes would be like, all right, yep, I'm good.
The
I
thought
saw what happened to
experiment
Tom.
presupposes that these men have no fear.
Right.
Nor self-preservation.
But there's no such thing as that.
But neither does the ape.
Well, the ape has less than a human when it comes to how instinct-driven you are versus how thought-driven you are.
So I'm looking at an article that Newsweek did about this, and there is a scenario where the humans could win. It says if the men surround and attack simultaneously, sacrificing some individuals, you could restrain the gorilla. Given enough people grabbing its arms, legs, and head, eventually the gorilla would tire. And then once immobilized, the gorilla could be beaten, though it would still resist ferociously until its last breath.
But like, this is the thing, though. Like, they didn't consult any experts. Newsweek didn't. They just kind of went off of available print.
They
information.
asked ChatGPT.
Right. And again, I don't think there's an easy. I don't know. I don't think there's I don't think there's actually a real answer to this. I don't think there is an answer that's correct. I don't think gorilla wins is correct. I don't think 100 people wins is correct, because they're just too many variables. I mean, how long does it take for a gorilla to wear out? How many men? Like, again, are we sending just 100 sociopaths out there or psychos that don't care if they die? Because that's what it takes. You have to not care. So what are you fighting for?
Victory over the gorilla.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you want to beat the gorilla.
So the only things that motivate a human being to fight like that are things like a war where you're sent there to, for your country, or you're fighting for your family.
I just don't think you can bring motivation into it. Like,
You have to,
there's no point in doing no, because it's a thought experiment.
Well, if there's no motivation, then the humans lose, because they're going to quit as soon as they see guys getting their heads ripped off.
But that's the thing. Motivation does not exist. The concept of motivation cannot exist in the world you're making for this thought experiment. You can't even imagine that there could be motivation on either side, humans or gorillas. You have to take fear and motivation, the concepts themselves, out entirely, and it's just a bunch of guys and one guy who's real big, and they just want to wail on each other.
No. Motivation's everything in a fight.
I am uncomfortable with this version of Kevin Wheeler.
We have to get that on a poster and put it up in the office. Motivation is everything in a fight.
Mean, it ain't wrong.
The final verdict from ChatGPT and Newsweek is 100 men could defeat a single adult male gorilla, but it would come at an extreme cost. It would require incredible coordination, courage, like Kevin is saying, and strategic sacrifice. And without careful planning, the gorilla could very well win or cause immense devastation before being overcome.
All right, Frank, you take that group over there. You guys are all dead, so the rest of us can try to trick him.
I'm on the front lines in the war against the single gorilla.
I will say, though, the best,
at what cost is
the
really
best thing about this going viral have been the comments to all of the posts. Whether they're TikToks or tweets or whatever, the comments are the best. Like one guy's like, yep, me and my buddies, we're going to be out there. We'll be the first ones in line, but we're going to wear suits to make the funerals easier for our families.
You know how we could test this? We could have the DGS and the newsroom fight Kevin.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
you guys are in trouble.
Something close to a silverback right here.
Depends on the motivation.
Yeah, I'm motivated.
Why don't we tell Michael Calhoun that Kevin made fun of his hair?
Well, why would I ever do that? His hair's great.
That'll motivate him.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to know that.
That's fine.
He knows that you're mercurial.
I need to see Stu fight Kevin. I need to see it real bad.
Why?
100 motivated Stews versus one.
Stu's nice. Why would I want that?
KMOX Fight Kevin. Club. I like it.
All right, I'm in.
See, the motivation. You like Stu too much. You're afraid to hurt him.
That's what I'm saying. Motivation matters. Like, I don't want to hurt like somebody that's nice.
Who's someone not nice?
Yeah.
Who would you fight 100 of? 100 Reardons.
Yeah, 100 Reardons.
Yeah, 100 Reardons. My
versus
brother.
one motivated Kevin.
And my brother. But we did that all our lives, so that fight was decided.
Yeah, that fight 99 more.
What if there were two Kevin brothers versus one Wheeler?
Oh, I think two of them would probably be a fair match.
Wow. Brian says KMOX versus 97-1 street fight.
Oh.
I like that Kevin is implying that he is twice as strong, probably more than twice as powerful as his brother.
It was a joke because my brother's going to be here in a few weeks. I'm going to let you guys bring that up and tell him I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
He's going to hypnotize one of you guys.
What if you're a normal person
and he made me this way?
Hypnotized you like 25 years ago?
That would be a hell of a play, wouldn't it? Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for Supplement Superstores. And look, I've been a customer of theirs since 2013, and there's a reason for that. Supplement Superstores is the best. They are always on the cutting edge of science, so when they find better products, that's what they work with. And they also have the best people. All of the employees at Supplement Superstores are certified sports nutrition specialists and personal trainers. So they'll work with you to build a simple eating plan and workout routine that fit your goals. And by the way, they do that for free. So to find your Supplement Superstores location and get started down your path to success, go to supplementsuperstores.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. Super simple. If you need flooring, Mike understands. He said this to me once, and I thought it was really very smart and very vulnerable. It's probably the wrong word, a little bit too emotional. But he said, like, look, Dave, when people come in to buy flooring, they either already know that they're going to be buying furniture and lighting and painting the walls, or they're about to find out, because I've dealt with, couples forever, and, dad thinks it's just flooring, but mom says, oh, with this hardwood, we really need to paint the dining room. We really need to get a new sofa for XYZ. So he tries hard to keep his prices very low. It's not giveaway. You're not going to save 50%, but you're going to get it less expensive than anywhere else from people who truly, truly don't try to fool you, because they want you to tell your friends and your family and make you all little, DGS live endorsement people so that they get more business. He's been doing it 30 years. He's been doing it for coming up on 24 years with me alone. Never had a complaint. Tons of people gush about him all the time. 3 locations, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KMOX and Top Golf.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Welcome back, DGSN KMOX. So I would need a couple months to train. This rock is very large. Perhaps I could pick up a smaller one. But I think I could defeat 106-year-olds.
Yeah, I think.
Man, I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
no,
Those little guys, they bite, man. They fight dirty, and they're you know where they're going to punch you, man. You ever been around a 6-year-old?
It comes down to motivation.
Yeah.
If it's 100, like you go to a grade school and grab 106-year-olds, I'm beating them. You take 100 fighters who've been trained, they're going to take me.
Dude, I don't know, man. 6-year-olds are dirty.
Yeah,
you know the first place they're going to punch you, dude.
I'm so callous down there.
I don't know what it is about kids that are 4, 5, and 6, but it's the first thing they want to do.
I just feel like they would come up and they would like sweep your legs out from under you and then you're toast.
I mean, the problem is the 6-year-olds aren't going to be good at strategy. You know, they're 6.
Yeah,
They're getting into a fight.
Here's one.
Idiots.
And I actually had this on my show sheet. Who would win in an all-out gang fight brawl between the McDonald Land characters and the Hostess characters? Remember Fruit Pie the Magician and Twinkie the Kid?
There are
Sir
Hostess
Ding Dong.
characters?
You don't know about these?
Yeah, I remember Sir Ding Dong.
Is Twinkie the Kid a cowboy?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I know him.
Fruit Pie the Magician.
Well, Hamburglar went away for armed robbery, so he has a gun. So that one
but they're not
definitely.
allowed to use their weapons.
He doesn't want to go back
Because a cowboy would have a gun also.
And Ronald McDonald, we don't really talk about it much, but Ronald McDonald is huge.
Is he?
I feel like he's like 6 foot something tall, and he's, he's broad as a brick wall.
But you got a wizard.
The man is buff.
All he's got to do is be like, Expelliarmus, and you're done.
Who's the wizard in the Hostess world?
Fruit Pie.
Yeah, the Fruit Pie wizard.
Okay.
He just make you disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Although if he's not allowed to use that, no weapons, maybe.
Officer Big Mac.
Yeah.
He's got specialized SWAT training.
Yes, he does.
The Fry Guys are going to be all over your face.
Oh, dude.
Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese.
I don't have anything for that one. I just wanted to say Mayor
Just want to
McCheese.
want to get it out there.
Just want to make sure we're not forgetting about my boy.
Yeah, I wonder, because I saw a TikTok today with Fruit Pie the Magician and Twinkie the Kid. I wonder if like Ho-Ho's had one, if they like.
I don't want to know what the mascot was.
I can imagine a couple of
Officer Big Mac is running her in all the time.
I can imagine some Ho-Ho magicians.
Come on, Ho-Ho. Like, it's my name. What am I supposed to do?
So there is a mascot called Happy Ho-Ho.
Jeez.
He looks like Mr. Hanky.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Disregard.
It does. Oh my God. Why? Why were the 70s so weird?
Because everyone was stoned out of their minds.
Why are you making up ridiculous mascots and giving them ridiculous names?
Brian says Grimace would be hard to take down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
he's
that's the
got
thing.
50 years of rage going.
Yeah, I mean he's not the brightest, we know that, but we also know that he's very big.
He'd just
and
be
he's very
throwing
strong.
haymakers.
Yeah.
All right, so I found the whole list of the Hostess gang.
Let's hear him.
So let's see here. There you go. Oh, it's a video. Oh, no, here we go. Here's the picture. So you got Susie Q, who's just like a cheerleader.
Okay.
You got the Twinkie dude.
Yeah.
He's going down
He's
hard.
the cowboy,
Twinkie
the
dude.
Twinkie
He doesn't
guy.
have a chance.
You got
No,
the king.
he's
so
filled with
the
cream.
King Don guy. You know those things? King Dong. Don.
Huh?
What are those called? They were called ding dongs?
Don't
Not
act
the
like you don't
ho-hos.
know what they're called.
I don't remember.
You
King
just don't want to say
Dong.
King Dong.
I can't remember.
That's the worst thing you've ever done. What is it? Is it Dlon?
Is it? But
I don't know how to
I
say
always
this
thought-
word.
no, but I thought they were not.
D-O-N-G. Is it Merv?
Oh, no. Okay, so he's King Ding Dong. King Ding
King
Dong.
Dong to his friends.
One of them's an alligator. They got an alligator.
Oh yeah, who is he?
The Crunch.
Crocodile.
Crocodile Crunch.
Crocodile.
Crocodile. There you go.
Yeah.
You got the crocodile. You've got the Chief Big Wheel. I guess was the Big Wheel a thing?
I don't remember that.
Then you've got the Captain Cupcake.
Okay.
Are any of these racist? Because I'm seeing the picture,
yeah,
and
the-
at least
I mean,
one of them
yeah,
is.
the Native
The
American
chief
one's pretty
didn't
bad.
I can see the chief from over here.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. Again, it's the 70s. They didn't care who they offended.
No.
None of that would even have been a consideration
No,
back
that would
then.
have been like an added
Right,
thing.
right, exactly. It would've
Yeah,
been
that
like-
would have been a bonus.
yeah. But then
I love
you
the
got,
mascots. Can we make any of them more
and
racist?
you got Happy Ho Ho there too.
Is that a girl or a boy?
Looks like a dude. He's dressed like Robin Hood.
Oh.
Kind of like a little feathered cap and gloves and boots.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I bet he's friends with the king.
But I don't see the wizard here anywhere. Oh no, there he
Fruit
is.
pie?
There he is. Fruit Pie the magician.
I
There
think
he is.
he was the main guy.
He's in the hot air balloon.
He's the
Oh,
court
and there's
magician.
a little bee too. I guess the bee is for the honey bun.
Yeah.
There's a
He's
bee-
got to
Ooh.
stop
Dude, right there, the bee ends it for a lot of people. People
Happy
are scared
Ho
of
Ho
bees.
from robbing King Dong.
Why in the 70s were all the colors so like muted,
Muted.
and like everything's yellow?
Yeah.
and
I don't know.
green?
No idea.
It's a good question.
It's definitely a thing though. Closed
Do
too
you-
back in the day.
Do you or anybody on the stream remember Time for Timer? He was a little spindly yellow dude that looked like he was made of earwax, and he lived in your refrigerator. And when you didn't have time to eat right, this is for all the poor kids. Like if you didn't have time to eat right, he'd be like, a slice of Swiss cheese will do, poor kid. Like maybe it's just in South Roxana because it ran all the time.
What was he called?
Timer.
King Dong.
Time for Timer.
So he was a spokesperson for cheese?
No, he was a spokesperson for poverty. I mean, it was just like, hey, if your parents aren't home and you don't have anything to eat, open up that big cold box and see what we got. It's true.
There was the one.
He's like, old pepperoni, that won't kill you. Eat it, kid.
There was
gotta eat something.
There was a cartoon like that.
What are
as
you
part
gonna
of,
do? Wait for dad to come home?
What was the thing called
That
on
didn't happen.
Saturday? Was it just called Saturday morning cartoons? Like they had the whole like that's where they had the what do you call it? Schoolhouse Rock,
Yeah.
and they had the one like the hanker for a hunk of cheese.
Yeah,
and a
that's
bunch of
him.
those.
That's him.
Okay,
yeah.
so
That's
that's
Timer.
Okay. Yeah,
So he was a spokesperson for cheese.
I feel like he was selling the other things besides cheese.
Yeah, he was just suggesting a hunk of cheese.
But it would
Did he-
make sense because he looks like cheese.
yeah. Did he have any other? He must have been cheese.
Didn't he have a top
He's wearing
hat
a cowboy
and a
hat,
cane?
like a cowboy hat,
Really?
and a bolo tie.
Yeah, if I were him, I would not be walking around putting the idea of eating things in people's heads, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I'd be
how
like,
odd.
too bad we can't eat anything around here.
He kind of looks like a bug.
Mm. A
weird.
yellow bug?
Yeah, it's weird.
Kids today, they have Jake Paul selling them stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Was there any other? Was it just a cheese commercial? Is that all there was? Was he just the cheese guy?
No.
Paid for by the cheese.
Oh, okay.
producers
So
over
he is the avatar of circadian rhythm and the proclaimed keeper of body time. So he says, like, when you gotta eat, you better do it.
Oh, so he's representing time.
He's representing our bodily needs and our body's functional clock.
Obtuse.
I was going to say, those are deep thoughts for
This
kids
is
watching cartoons.
Incredibly obtuse.
What's the description for?
But
King
I'm 53 and I can still remember hanker for a hunk of cheese.
Yeah.
His most famous is called "Eat Some Kind of Breakfast." So,
see,
I think to remind kids.
I
to
think
eat.
I'm right about
Rach, it was the 70s, man. They had to do a commercial on TV every night. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah. His second most popular was "Dad's Not Coming Home."
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Join the magic this summer at the Muni. Season 107 begins June 16th with Bring It On, the musical, followed by Come From Away, Disney's Frozen, Evita, Dear Evan Hansen, La Cage aux Folles, and Jersey Boys. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Let me tell you guys about Susan L. Ward. She's my very good friend. She used to be a colleague, never a peer, because she was so much better at being a divorce attorney than I ever was. She is a really good person. She's incredibly smart. She's very direct. She can be amazingly aggressive if she needs to be in and out of court, whether it's negotiations or it's trying a case, but that's not her only gear. If what you want her to do is just, look, we've decided to get divorced. We're cooperating. We've come up with our own plan. We just need your expert advice and just to make sure to get us through the system as quickly and peacefully as you can. She would be very happy to do that as well. She has multiple offices, so if you can hear my voice in Missouri, she can represent you. For a free consultation, just simply mention my name when you call, 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audien Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audien is easy to trust. Visit audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 3 o'clock in mid-America. We've got rain. It is 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump is on his way to Michigan, where he'll hold a rally to mark the first 100 days of his second term. As he left the White House, he told reporters the important thing now is for Congress to pass his big, beautiful tax bill.
I think we're going to get it done. We have great Republican support. If the Democrats blocked it, you'd have a 60% tax increase. I don't think that's going to happen.
The legislation aims to extend the 2017 tax cuts, with authorizing additional tax cuts as well and raising the debt ceiling by as much as $5 trillion. Local Head Start programs are bracing for potential elimination.
Reports in recent weeks indicate the preschool program will get zero federal funding under the latest Trump administration budget proposals. Gene Howell, president and CEO of Riverbend Head Start, says the program provides key support to economically disadvantaged families, including health, dental, vision, and nutritional screening.
And we provide services to bring this child up to speed, so that when they get to kindergarten, they are essentially on a level ground with their more fortunate peers.
Howell says studies conclude children who participate in Head Start in their early years are more likely to complete high school and enroll in college, less likely to be arrested, enter foster care, or have chronic diseases than children who did not have access to Head Start services. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
An update on the medical helicopter crash in Hartford last Thursday during a training exercise. 2 of the 3 Arch team members have been released from the hospital. 1 is in stable condition and progressing. The chopper reportedly clipped a tree while trying to take off, flipped over, and caught fire. The KMOX business desk, UPS will cut 20,000 jobs this year. Correspondent Michael Wallace.
The delivery giant will also close 73 of its buildings by the end of June. UPS is cutting costs after agreeing to slash the number of packages it will deliver for Amazon by more than half. Amazon accounted for about 12% of UPS's revenue. UPS says the cut should save it $3.5 billion this year.
UPS CEO says the world has not been faced with such enormous potential impacts to trade in more than 100 years. Amazon says it never approved a plan to display tariff costs on item pricing after harsh blowback from the White House. Here's Jason Brooks.
Punchbowl News reported that Amazon is going to start including tariff costs on products, prompting White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt to call it a hostile and political act by Amazon. The e-commerce site responded in a statement that it had considered displaying import charges on items sold through its low-cost Amazon Hall store, but that the plan was never approved and isn't going to happen. Amazon launched Hall last year, offering items priced at $20 and less.
CNN reports that President Trump called Amazon founder and chairman Jeff Bezos to complain about the reports of tariff labels. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. Here's Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott.
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. Some potential positive news on the tariff front propelled the Dow Jones Industrial Average to its 6th straight positive daily return. The index climbed 300 points, or 0.75%, to 40,527. The Standard & Poor's 500 index, also higher for the 6th straight session, rising by 0.6% to 5,560, while the NASDAQ Composite Index advanced 0.5% at 17,461. The Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index also having a good day, adding 0.5% to 1,463. Checking on some stocks of local interest. Peabody Energy up 1 2/3% at $12.81. ESCO Technology gained 1.5% at $157.58. Stifel Financial added 0.25% at $86.21. On the downside, Anheuser-Busch fell 0.25% at $64.96, while Caleres lost 0.75% to close at 15.5. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got a crash on 44 going eastbound just past Pacific. That's just on the right shoulder. Also another crash on 55 going north at Butler Hill. That is on the right shoulder.
Our unsettled weather pattern is going to continue right through Thursday. We have another shot of rain and thunderstorms as we go through the mid to late afternoon hours. It's windy, 75 degrees. I think the main focus of this is going to be to our south, but we have to watch it carefully. It kind of unfolds hour by hour. Tonight, periods of showers and a couple of thunderstorms, 60 for the overnight low. Wednesday, periods of showers, some spot thunderstorms. Best chance for thunderstorms Wednesday will be in the afternoon, 76 for the high. Still some showers and thunderstorms around Wednesday night. Thursday, showers, spot storms, mainly just a rain setup on Thursday, 76. Clear it out for Friday and over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
And the back end of at least the heaviest rain is crossing right now over Greenville through Breeze, Nashville, Pinckneyville, down through Carbondale, Illinois. We've got rain. It is 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. And the forecast is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling, Jerry Kelly, Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, DGS 1041 FM KMOX, a few minutes past 3 p.m. So my little notebook here. If I were to die in a car accident tonight and they found this, they'd be like, well, he's a serial killer from somewhere.
Yeah,
we don't know where he's coming from or where he's going to.
Check that backyard.
He's killed a lot of nurses. Like, here's what if you just read my notebook as a notebook, half a cow, old women falling off docks, gorilla would be confused, hostess versus McDonald's, mantis versus snake.
Mantis.
Yeah. When I was a little kid, I was at my grandma and grandpa's house in the country, and the back door was inaccessible for some reason. And going up the front porch, there's a praying mantis that was sitting on one of the handrails.
All right.
And it scared me so bad. I was out there for like 3 months because I couldn't figure out how to get in the house. And that praying mantis was just so like.
Okay, so you didn't go past him is the whole point.
I wouldn't go past him.
I got you.
He was doing this.
Yeah, he's like scheming.
And so I've always felt like such a wuss for that. And then I saw a video today on TikTok where a praying mantis took down and killed a snake.
Whoa.
A little snake?
They can lift like a 2 foot long.
Okay, like a garter
green
snake.
Garter
Yeah,
snake.
yeah.
Yeah, but a praying mantis is like a Q-tip.
Yeah.
But they can lift like 1,500 times their body weight or something.
Man.
So yeah, I made the right choice.
I think so. He might have took you out.
Yeah, he might have.
Ooh, you know what always freaked me out were the walking sticks.
That's an even lower version of the praying mantis. Like, it's a scarier version.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Because then you get it
Yeah.
into your head, like, what if that giant branch over there is a
It's just an
giant
enormous
walking
one.
stick?
But they don't bite, right?
I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
what
not-
they do.
I'm not getting close enough to find out. I hate
'Cause I don't
those
think
things.
mantises bite people too either, do they?
I don't know. They sure got a bitey look to them.
I mean, they do have a bitey look with those big eyes and pointy mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the one? Are they the ones where the lady kills the guy
A couple of
after
those.
they mate?
That's
there's a
most
bunch.
of it. Yeah.
Most
I
of
was
the bug world.
Yeah, it's funny. I just saw that today. That bees, the men die after having sex.
Oh.
But I think they die from it. I don't think they like bite their heads
So they're not
off.
right. They're not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The men are like, well, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Man, bees got a
What's
raw
the
deal
point?
too because they die from stinging you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and their
There's a
whole
lot of ways
lives
to
are
die.
just serving
defend
the
yourself
queen.
by dying.
Yeah. Just
Of course, they're not defending themselves. That's the whole point.
getting nectar, taking it back to the queen.
Yeah.
Getting laid, dead.
Dead. Bye.
If you're going to be a bug, what would you be?
Butterfly.
Of course.
It's the best bug. It's the
Boys are thinking like Black Widow.
Yeah, what would I be? Something fear-inspiring.
A butterfly.
I don't know. A flying one would have to be good.
I was just
though,
gonna
right?
say, I think I'd have to take a flying one because that just sounds like too much fun.
It'd be a hornet.
Hmm.
What about a
Nobody messes with
dragonfly?
you.
Yeah,
I'll do
dragonfly would be cool.
Oh yeah, they're good. One of those really big hornets from, like what are they? I forget what they're like the size of like a tarantula, but they're a hornet.
Oh, they're a tarantula hawk.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd like to be one of those.
Yeah.
Nobody mess with you, man. Just leave me alone.
I saw a TikTok the other day of these guys. They had a clear plastic tube, and like one of them held it up to their mouth, the other one held it up to their mouth, and there's a tarantula in the middle, and you like blow to get the tarantula to go away from you, so it's going back and forth. And I guess whoever
One of
the
the
tarantula
worst things
bites
I've ever
loses.
heard.
It sounds terrible.
That's
yeah.
awful.
It was pretty
It's
brutal.
also probably pretty awful for the tarantula.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The tarantula is like, can I please just live
Could
my
you just
life?
leave me alone? Yeah, set me free, please.
Tarantula's like awful lot of carbon dioxide in this tube. Just saying.
My brother was kind of a wheeler. Like, he knew stuff, and he let you know he knew
Okay.
it.
Oh yeah.
Except how to pronounce dong. And and he lived in Tucson, and his apartment building backed up to the desert, and we would go walking in the evening time, And you know how if you just kind of unfocus your eyes, you can see things moving?
Yeah.
You could just see tarantulas.
Oh, yeah.
Running from tarantula hole to
It's
tarantula
like moving
hole.
around on your peripheral.
Yeah. And I made the mistake of going like, that's creepy. And he's like, what are those so creepy about it? Because
Yeah, they're pretty tame, aren't they?
I think so.
Like they're pretty passive. I shouldn't say
I
tame.
mean, people get
like
them
they'll
as
bite you
pets.
if you piss them off. But
Yeah, they got big old fangs.
You know what I saw on TikTok yesterday was a guy who has multiple. I was going to say multiple octopi as like pets. He has like big aquariums in his house. They're so smart.
Oh yeah.
And they want like I didn't realize that he was explaining. He's like I feed them food in the jar and I close the jar lid because they like the challenge of getting it open and they figure out how to get it open and then they eat the clams that are in there. He said, but the one
I have a cousin like that.
Yeah, it's like the one she wouldn't eat because she didn't want to eat. She wanted him to play, and they like to play. And apparently, like you put your hand over there and then they grab you and you play around in the water and they splash water at you.
And if they grab you, even a small one, it's really hard to get them off.
They
their
have to
hand.
let go of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but
Yikes.
he was explaining how this one in particular, I forget what her name was, but she will not eat until she plays first. So she'll like sit there at the top, the thing's open at the top, just like shoot little water out at him to get him to play.
Wow.
They're so smart.
It's adorable and creepy at the same time.
See, that's the kind of thing, if I had the money, I would have done in Dave's constant life pursuit to be cool and novel. I would have bought an octopus.
Yeah.
Now
it almost
scared
like
of it.
the more I learn about him though, it's
and
like,
I wouldn't even have fed it. I'd just been like, eh.
The more I learned about him though, like the more it feels like I don't know if I'd want to keep one.
No.
Like they're too smart.
You just want to get one. You don't want to keep it.
Yeah. They're like I didn't I mean I knew they were smart, right? I knew they figured out problems and all that. Of course they're
They have
aliens.
brains and all their appendages.
Right. Wasn't there a scientist scientist who said that there's a legitimate argument that they're aliens?
Yeah.
That was like not a fake thing, right?
No, that's real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of scientists, I saw a tweet from Neil deGrasse Tyson earlier today, and I kind of didn't know what he was talking about, but that didn't matter because I ended up looking at his profile picture. His profile picture is him in a sleeveless shirt taking a mirror selfie.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Andrew. I'm like, this profile picture has me weak because it's like, you're Neil
On
deGrasse
what?
Tyson. You're on Twitter, on X.
He's got all sorts of things
Get
going
out
on.
of here.
Yeah, go look at it. Go look at his profile picture. It's like a thirst trap.
He thinks he's well, I
does.
guess I shouldn't say the word that I used earlier because I don't know if I can actually say that on the radio.
What the heck?
I know. I was like,
So you
what
think
is
he's one
going
of the
on?
hostess characters?
Yeah, let's say that.
I saw
He
him
thinks he's
do-
a hostess character.
I
He's
saw him do,
awful happy.
He did a video with Joe Rogan. I guess he was on Rogan's podcast and he was doing something. I forget exactly what, but it was like, I couldn't fight Joe or something along those lines, but because in his line of fighting, but he was apparently a wrestler in college or in high school or something like that. Neil deGrasse Tyson was. So if it was like my display, I don't know what he was doing, but it was kind of like he was flexing. Like, I'm not actually just a smart guy. Like, I'm also a badass.
Yeah, the tweet was him holding a bunch of red hats.
It
and they
is.
all looked like MAGA hats, and one of them actually is a MAGA hat. And I didn't get the point of the tweet. I didn't get if he was saying he was MAGA or not. I mean, I really don't care.
The
of
tweet
what-
made
I'm
the
seeing
picture
it,
made
yeah.
absolutely no sense.
So
Yeah.
one hat says "Make America Great Again." One says "Make America Smart Again." One says "Make lying wrong again." Relax, it's just a red hat, is what the fourth one says.
And then there's an actual MAGA hat, right?
There is one, yeah. There's one of each
It's
of
like,
those.
so I just didn't get what the message was supposed to be. Maybe I'm just dense, but as I was trying to figure it out, I noticed his profile picture and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
One of the comments right underneath it was, "It's so cool when grown people post like teenagers." That is a really weird profile pic.
It was just so random that
very
that's what
weird.
he's leading
And he's
with.
making a face like,
You like what you see, ladies?
Yeah.
that's what his face looks like. He's got
I mean, reports are that he is that kind of guy.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he had a bunch of trouble.
Oh, I didn't know
few
that.
years
Yeah,
ago.
some Me Too stuff.
Oh, did not know
But
that.
it was pretty tame. It was like
He's
he
just
was
a-
just creepy.
Yeah, he's just a creepy nerd.
Yeah. Well, we
Nerds have a
Yeah,
tendency.
you took
Showed
him down
him,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Well, like nerd guys like him, they have a tendency. They get rich, they get famous, they get money, and then they don't know how to act around women.
Like Elon.
Yeah, kind of.
Elon's down $113 billion.
And he will never even notice it.
True.
Because he has
How
many
does
more?
your lifestyle change?
How many more does he have?
Probably another 100.
I would probably notice it if it were me, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
I
you
think I'd
notice it
probably
on-
notice.
You'd notice it on paper, but it wouldn't change anything about your day to day.
Rach, what is the potty training debate?
Oh, I saw this story of this woman picked up her son from first grade. Everybody's 6 years old. And
My arch enemies.
her son was like, hey, can my friend come over for a play date? And she was like, well, I don't really know him. But his mom was there, and the mom was like, I'll come pick him up at 7. You guys have a great time. Little boy gets over to the house. Everything's going fine until he has to go to the bathroom, and he has to go number 2. And he reveals, like, I don't know how to wipe. You have to wipe for me.
That happened to me at a Super Bowl party.
So he's 6 years old, and the mom's like, you're putting me in a really uncomfortable position. I just feel like if you're coming over for play dates and we're past the accepted potty training stage and you're not able to go potty or poo-poo, you should warn me of that in advance, because now suddenly I'm wiping the butt of a kid I don't even know.
Can I tell
How
you
is that
something?
my job? What's that?
I was this kid when I was like 5.
Yeah.
I have a memory of this. I was this kid.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I hadn't graduated from the training yet.
So you were out of diapers.
I was out of diapers.
So you could use the toilet, you just couldn't wipe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
And I
everyone
remember-
goes through that phase.
I remember being at like a friend's house that I'm not friends with anymore, probably, Could be any reasons for that.
Yeah, sure. The myriad.
But I definitely remember being on the toilet and like calling his mom in and having an uncomfortable conversation.
That
Where
would
I'm
have
like, look, we got a situation. I didn't really think about this beforehand, but we're in a bit of a situation
that
here.
would have never happened to me, because my dad would have had the most psychologically damaging conversation with me as I sat on the toilet. Like, it would have been straight up shame. I didn't fight in World War II so that you could leave poop on your butt.
It's funny. You said that the 6-year-old, I thought that seems old, but then I just looked it up and it's not uncommon, apparently.
And you know what? The mom, to her credit, she took it like a champ. I remember she had a cigarette and a phone in one hand. She was like talking to somebody on the phone, just like a normal conversation.
Hold on, I gotta wipe this kid's butt.
And then she was wiping with the other. And I remember thinking, I remember it vividly, because I remember her being like, I wish you'd use 2 hands for this. Like, I don't know if you need it, but like,
Hey, you didn't even know how to wipe. Don't tell her how to
That's
wipe.
the thing. I was like, I feel like this
beggars
probably
can't be choosers at that
I feel like
point.
this probably needs your full attention. Can you stop talking on the phone for 30 seconds?
Excuse me, one hand, but
Well,
That's the
I saw another mom weigh in on this, and she was like, I ran into the same situation. Luckily, my kid just helped him wipe. And I'm like, now the
Damn.
babies are wiping each other's butts.
Yeah, I didn't call the friend in there like, hey man, help a brother out.
That's fascinating. I
Do-
would have
do
never.
me a solid.
were you worried about it, knowing you were a non-wiper?
I don't recall. I mean, this was 30 years ago, so I don't have a strong memory of that. I just have a strong memory. Like when she brought that up, I was like, oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
So according to this research, it said many 4-year-olds are capable of this. Most 5-year-olds can, but sometimes it takes till they're 6 or 7. So that's not, I thought that sounded crazy to me, but it's not. Like 6 seemed like, I'm like, that seems really old because you're in school and stuff. Apparently it's not.
And like, no judgment to the kid. You're a
No,
child.
it's a
You're
kid.
learning how to wipe. We've
don't judge
we've
the
all
kid.
been
You need
through it.
you need to warn the other
Yeah, the
person,
mom
though.
should have been like,
Also-
by the way, he can't wipe.
Let's just all admit that wiping is a weird thing. Just if out of nowhere someone goes, that nasty stuff that comes out of your back end? Well, I need you to take this wad of paper and just rub it until it's gone. That's a weird thought.
This is what I was saying to that mom. I was like, look, we can all agree this is crazy, right? We're all in a crazy situation here.
I love that she was smoking and talking on the phone.
Smoking and talking on the phone. And I was like, can I have a little more attention? Like,
Little
I get
dignity.
Yeah, none of us want to be doing this. I'm not any happier about this than you are. But you're, like you said, can we have a little dignity?
Can you speed this up, please?
She had to move your hair out of the way. Okay, relax. We all know what I'm saying.
Now I have a whole different picture in my mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had to
my
put it up
God.
in a messy bun so she could wipe my
It's
butt.
like a horsetail.
Andrew's got a hair clip.
Hang on, let me get my scrunchie.
Actually, make it 2. One big one, one little one.
I don't know if I can read Brian's comment, but it's so.
She burnt Andrew's ass with a cigarette.
Ash
we're having
falling
fun,
on me.
folks. We're having a good time.
That's the most 80s thing, like 90s things I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's good. That's a
Mom with a
70s move.
cigarette.
Would have been about 95.
That's a 70s move, except it would have been like it would have corded phone.
I do think that was a major motivator for me to figure it out myself.
That'll do it.
So I think I was like, this
Or
cannot
not
happen.
to, depending on your proclivity.
Yeah, I got lucky. I took the left path instead of the right fork.
I'm never learning this skill.
I was like, this cannot happen again.
You're like, oh, excuse me. Miss Smoking Mom. Wet cleanup on aisle 2.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh boy.
There's that whole run there where like people when they're smoking, they weren't going to put that thing down for anything, were they?
No.
Yep. We're talking on the handheld.
You might need it for that though. You might need I don't even smoke and I might need a cigarette to wipe his butt.
And she wasn't talking about it on the phone, which like I remember being again, that's like the thing that I remember most. I remember the talking on the phone. She was totally chill. Like she wasn't happy about doing it. She wasn't like, she was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. She was like, are you serious? And I was like, dead serious.
You just give her the look like,
I am serious as a heart attack, madam. I got a problem and only one person knows how to fix it.
It's the mom with the cig.
Yeah. Like it's your problem now. You decide how you want to
What
address
if you're
this.
the mom in the cig and you just decide nope?
Yeah. It's a move.
She could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have.
That would cause some, I think some, man, I got to say the right words.
Diaper
Backlash from the other mom, getting home and you're like, what's
No,
going on
I
here?
don't think
Your
my
mom would have
mom
been okay with you coming home with a poopy butt.
She wouldn't have been okay with it, but I don't know if she would have necessarily put the fault on the mom whose name I unfortunately just remembered and almost said out loud.
You're unlucky. I feel like a therapist now. This is the kind of thing that if you're a psychiatrist and this comes out, you're like, I've cracked this nut. It all goes back to that one day. Let me try to get through a zero res here. We have a good deal for this month, but the month is just about over. So you don't have to get your carpets cleaned or your air ducts cleaned in the same month that you make the deal. If you like this deal, call them. Get it set in, make an appointment for next month, and then carry it out. $119 for 3 rooms of carpeting, $75 off your air duct cleaning. They are giving you great deals, even though it's spring cleaning time. As I've been talking about having animals in my house that every now and then they'll pull an Andrew and need their butt wiped. So they usually wipe it on the carpeting, and as the weather gets warmer, it gets stinkier and gamier, and that's just not livable. So if you want them to get everything out, all the animal stuff, all the pizza sauce, all the red wine, all the soda, just life out of your carpets, they can do that better than anyone else, where they look and feel and smell and present as just basically new for just $119. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler, I want to tell you about Supplement Superstores. First of all, I've been a customer for at least a dozen years, going back to 2012, 2013. And there's a reason I stuck with them, because they're the best. They do their best to stay at the cutting edge of science, right? So when a new supplement comes out or there's a tweak to something that they've already had and they're going to find a better version of it, they're always bringing you the best. It's always going to be the best knowledge that you have at the moment. That's number one. But more important than that, right? It's the people that work at Supplement Superstores. Every employee is a certified sports nutrition specialist and a personal trainer. So they're experts. I've taken advantage of that many times over the years. If you walk in and you have a goal, I want to get bigger, I want to lose weight, whatever, they're going to help you find the supplement that'll work for you. But they're also going to sit down with you and say, all right, let's talk about what you're eating. How can we build a plan that's easy that you can follow with some tips and things like that to match maybe a workout routine that fits your goals? And they don't charge you for that. They just do it because they know that when you get results, like I have, you stay a customer. And that's why they're the best. So if you want to find your location, pretty easy. You can get started down the path to success by simply going to supplementsuperstores.com.
The smartest way to do your homework is Hackman Lumber.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners. And for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been the trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with our experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, Decorators, and Duralife to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. Hackman Lumber has been serving homeowners and pros for 80 years, and they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials guaranteed. Whether you DIY with their expert advice or need a trusted contractor, Hackman has you covered. They are now an authorized steel dealer and stock a huge selection of grills. So celebrate summer with a new Big Green Egg, pellet grills, Weber gas, or charcoal grill, and all the accessories you need for the perfect backyard setup. Visit Hackman Lumber's showrooms in St. Charles, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri, or HackmanSTL.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back. We apologize. What a show.
Man, what are you apologizing for?
Just all the
being awesome.
Andrew's butt talk.
It's not current.
Yeah, it's totally fine. These are things young parents are dealing with all the time.
Mm-hmm. What if
It's
it was
relatable.
current?
Now that would be something.
What if it happened
Should
in
be.
a Magic the Gathering contest?
Could be. Have to call the judge in.
You're tardy, player.
Look, I'm going to level with you.
I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. But look, the situation's the situation.
Weekdays at noon.
Welcome into the Gas House Gang. I'm Chris Ranji.
The Gas House Gang.
I'm Tom Ackerman.
Insight from experts who cover the team. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the Gas House Gang.
We have a cast of, do we call them characters or just people? Characters. You'll hear from the likes of Bernie Miklasz and Mike Claiborne and John Rooney.
The Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yield, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Baseball is back, and this season there are more ways than ever to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. New for 2025, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. And for a limited time, you can get started with a 30-day free trial using code CARDS30DAY when you sign up at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and music director Stefan Deneuve for Peer Gynt, a fully staged live performance featuring the SLSO, the St. Louis Symphony Chorus, and a cast of actors, puppets, and sets. Edvard Grieg's Peer Gynt is rowdy, charismatic, and outrageous, and it is filled with laughter and love. This performance will be a theatrical experience like no other. May 3rd and 4th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game, stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, we're the home run hitters you need. Morgan & Morgan, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Welcome back. DG Ask 1041 FM, KMOX 334. Dave Murray joins us.
Hi, guys.
Dave, were you listening to those last couple segments?
I missed it. I feel like I've really missed something.
You did. History.
Well,
you missed history.
In a good way. Yes, you did.
Good that he missed it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't want that in my head. Do you want that in your head? Andrew's butt getting wiped with hair down to his tailbone?
That was a detail I added.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was his age. Remember?
Was it? It was the age of 5? All right.
Yeah. That's
you
what
know
he got.
what? I'm going through that. I've got a 5-year-old grandson, and when they're visiting, he'll be in the bathroom.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it will be, Grandpa Dave, need a little help.
Yeah, I love it. Need a little help.
Yeah.
That's great.
Help a brother out.
Yeah.
Dave, where do you come down on the can 100 men defeat a silverback gorilla?
No, I think the gorilla wins.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, we're not talking weapons. Or
No.
anything. We're just
It's
talking
hand-to-hand combat.
Like a cage match.
Yeah.
No, I think the gorilla wins. Yeah.
So Wheels was just commenting on the severity of those storms that came through earlier. Not anything to laugh about.
No, we had a batch this morning. Then the atmosphere calmed down a little bit. Another batch, mainly to our south. Now we had some storms come through St. Louis. The strongest storm was down around Potosi. There was at this point still unconfirmed tornado, but it looks like at least a little tornado came through. The elementary school is fine, did not get damaged, but there was some damage down there. Tornado warning went up on that. The storm kind of lost some punch. That line of storms is now approaching the Indiana border. Really, that's how fast the stuff is moving. Our threat for severe weather is gone. Still going to see some showers from time to time, maybe a spot thunderstorm here and there, but I'm not expecting anything severe this evening or overnight. Very unsettled again on Wednesday, periods of showers, not raining all the time, be a couple of thunderstorms, but nothing widespread as far as severe weather is concerned. 75. Still unsettled Wednesday night, still unsettled Thursday. Mainly showers on Thursday. Thursday night, still unsettled. It's all gone, though, for Friday, partly to mostly sunny, slightly cooler, 69 degrees. Weekend looks great, sunny skies and temperatures low to mid 70s. For the most part, our front is stuck. It's through, but it's stuck. And it's just kind of waving around. And every time we get a little wave on that front, we get a batch of showers and some thunderstorms. And my people have talked to your people. It basically means Rachel and I have talked. Summer forecast, May 22nd. It's a Thursday, June, July, and August.
It's the only forecast of the year I dread. All the others are fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's baseball, Dave.
It's just full of threat.
I mean, not wrong.
It's an angry season.
You get pitted out so easy.
Yeah, so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
In moments.
Yeah. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. The U.S. House of Representatives just passed the Take It Down Act. This is aimed at protecting Americans from deepfake and revenge pornography. This boosts protections for victims of non-consensual sharing of sexual images, including deepfake porn, and it'll go to President Donald Trump for a signature. His wife, First Lady Melania Trump, has supported the legislation and plans to be present when her husband signs it into law. Kind of crazy that this doesn't already exist.
Yeah. Maybe we just shouldn't be sharing anything like that.
I agree, Dave. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are people that are creating them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the bigger story. And I would argue that should be as much of a punishment as if you actually stole something from someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
because you are stealing something.
Yeah.
And you hear about it happening in high schools and middle schools. That should not be happening, period.
No.
That is child pornography. I don't care if you're a child, the one making it, like, it's not okay. And the punishment needs to be severe to try to nip this in the bud. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers claim he might not have been mentally capable of his crimes due to all of his drug use. He's facing charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and fraud, and he's locked up without bail currently. His trial is set to begin on May 5th. Prosecutors have filed a motion disputing any testimony suggesting that Combs lacked the mental capacity to break the law, saying a psychiatrist has testimony to the contrary. Combs' legal team has also argued that the U.S. law is racist and that he is being singled out in a case of selective prosecution.
What a defense. I was wasted. That's why I raped all those people.
Wow.
I mean, something.
An autopsy confirms that Gene Hackman did die from heart disease with additional complication from advanced Alzheimer's and prolonged fasting. The 95-year-old actor had a history of heart issues, including congestive heart failure and an irregular heartbeat, and he had received a pacemaker in 2019. His wife, Betsy, likely died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, and Hackman appeared to have outlived her by about a week, possibly unaware of her passing.
Sad.
It is really sad because at first it was like this big mystery, and now you're just like, oh man, that was just awful.
Yeah, very sad. Amazon is launching a Starlink rival called Project Kuiper internet satellite, signaling its official arrival in the fast expanding race to blanket the globe with broadband from space. It launched its first batch of internet satellites into orbit Monday, and they were carried by the United Launch Alliance's Atlas V rockets. The launch marks Amazon's entry into the satellite internet market, currently dominated by SpaceX and its more than 7,000 Starlink satellites.
Did you guys see the 6-hour battle between Bezos and Trump? That Bezos was going to start listing the tariff amount in everything you buy from Amazon.
Uh-huh.
You're buying a $10 item, you're paying an extra 90 cents because of the tariffs.
Right.
And Trump went ape crap crazy. And so he backed down, as they all do, and said he wasn't going to do it.
Is that? I'm not trying to decide. I'm literally asking a question. Like, is that normal
to do that?
Where a president would tell a guy that runs a business, "Don't do that with your business." I mean, maybe it is.
Shouldn't be. I don't think. I don't care what the president's last name is.
But also, if you're Bezos, why would you listen to anybody?
Right.
You can do what you want.
Do whatever you want to do. That's what I don't understand. Maybe I just don't play at those levels.
Yeah.
But I don't understand.
That's a good point.
If I were 100 billionaire, you couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, because what happens otherwise? Is he mad that the fee is there, or just that you're saying this is what the fee is?
Just that you're showing it.
So if you just add it onto the price of things, because this is the thing, like not everything is sold directly by Amazon.
Right.
They're a facilitator for a lot of things. So you can't expect individual sellers to just like, well, I'm going to eat the cost, because most of them are operating on pretty small margins, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and people getting charged an extra fee are going to want to know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the point brought up too, like, wouldn't this encourage people to buy American, because you'd be able to see like, okay, that has a tariff on it because it's coming from somewhere else.
Well,
and isn't that what the Trump administration wants? Is
if you're doing it, but you're afraid of people seeing it, what does that say about what you're doing?
Yeah.
If you're so proud of tariffs that's going to turn everything around, but you don't want anyone showing the effect it has on consumers, doesn't that just sort of a fortiori show that you're at minimum uncomfortable with what it's doing to consumers? Just own it.
Or at least with how consumers perceive it.
Yeah, just own it. Yeah. It's going to cost you an extra 90 cents on that.
One more story for you guys. The founder of Leapfrog, you guys remember that, Mike Wood, has passed away by physician-assisted suicide following his Alzheimer's diagnosis.
Wow. I didn't realize that part. I heard that he had passed.
So he died surrounded by family in Switzerland, where physician-assisted suicide is legal. Yeah, I remember when Leapfrog came out, it was a big deal that kids could get their hands on this kind of technology, and it was helping them learn. And he made that decision for himself when he got his Alzheimer's diagnosis, decided he wanted to take control in that situation.
Is there anywhere, do they do that in Oregon?
I
think so. I think even in California, I think there are some ways to do that. And I think maybe Washington State. I think there's more states than we realize that at least try to make it a little easier for you.
Yeah.
Maybe not simple, but easier to at least explore it.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Okay.
That could have gone on for hours. I was just waiting for the next item. Telling you guys about BioBalance Health and Dr. Kathy Maupin, and you get it at this point. You guys could do your own live endorsement for her. But it really, here's the main thing. It works. It works. I don't want you paying any amount of money for a treatment that does nothing, or a treatment that's going to last an event, unless that event's really important and then you want to get this treatment and it's going to last for a week and you look great at your high school reunion or your daughter's wedding, whatever it happens to be. Most of these things are much more permanent than that. Even like a Botox will last for months in the average person. And Dana, who is the injector there at BioBalance Skin, is absolutely great. Artistic, conservative. She does not want you walking around town with that stretched clown face and people wondering where you got the bad work done. She doesn't want people to notice at all, other than that you look fresh and young and you feel fresh and young. Right next door is BioBalance Health, where Trish and I get our testosterone pellets. She gets them every 4 months. I get them every 6 months. Takes about 15 minutes, no big whoop, and you're consistent all the way through. Whether you're worried about the bedroom or the boardroom or the gym, it's going to take care of all those things. For all things Dr. Maupin, go to biobalancehealth.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble downtown right now. This traffic reports a service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. They're working a crash westbound 44 just as you enter the arch grounds there, just past the dome. The right lane is closed, so westbound 44 is jammed back onto 70, eastbound 70 on the brakes. as you approach Salisbury. Once you get past that point, southbound 55, just a little busy. Gasconade to Bates looks good down in Jefferson County right now. They just cleared a crash. Southbound 270 at 64 is out of the way. It's traffic slow north of Olive down to about Manchester, and then 44 to Gravois after that. Westbound 64 just a little slow at the city limits. There's some heavy traffic Spady to Ballas, a jam approaching 94 through K. They were clearing a crash that was in the left lane just west of K. Last time I looked at it like a minute and a half ago, that left lane was still blocked. And then it's slow again, approaching Prospect onto 61 northbound up to Winsville Parkway. Westbound 70 has some heavy traffic right just from A out to about Z. Eastbound 70 Earth City into 270 is a little busy as well. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KingMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KingMOX and Top Golf. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
.349 DG Ask. We have the think tank coming up. Amy Marks, of course, is going to be on today. Be nice to see her since we don't see her in the crossover hour anymore. Kev, can you talk about this very weird, sad case of Jarren Duran?
Yeah, so I had this on the sheet because I've always talked a lot about fan behavior at sporting events.
Yeah.
Because there are things that cross a line, and there are things that are not. They may be jerky, but they're not really crossing a line. And I wanted to run this one by you guys because when Boston was in Cleveland recently, Jarren Duran kind of got into it with a fan who yelled something at him, and I don't know the exact words used, but the Red Sox broadcaster Will Middlebrooks, who's a former player, related that it was something along the lines of to Duran, he should have killed himself when he had the chance. Duran recently, this was within the last few weeks, the story that he told came out that he had once tried to kill himself. And it was his story about how he got through that and how he's gotten to where he is now. And this was in the not too distant past, but still within relatively recent history that he outlined the story. And I would say maybe 2-3 weeks ago is when the story hit and became a big thing. And it was obviously a great discussion because here's a guy that was at the lowest of the lows, right? He was at a terrible place. And then now here he is in a spot where he's recovered, and he's talking about that path and how important it is for people to understand how many people go through that kind of thing. And then you have a fan who crosses that line. And I think there's always this debate about what a fan has the freedom to say or do, right? Like, I'm big on this. You don't go on the field. If you go on the field, you should go to jail. That's their workplace. You don't storm into someone's workplace and run around. You're going to get arrested if you do that at a law firm. You should get arrested and put in jail when you do that at a baseball game. You don't throw things. You should be arrested for that. And I do think there are things that you can say that should also mean that you won't go to jail for it, but you can't come back. And to me, this would be you cannot come to a Major League Baseball game anymore.
It doesn't get much worse.
No, that's like bringing in family, bringing in religion, bringing in race, bringing in mental health. I think those are lines that if you're a fan and you cross that line, every team and every sport should tell you cannot come back to our stadium.
Totally agree.
You cannot come back. I don't know if it's permanent. I don't know if it's permanent and you can appeal the decision in a year, whatever it is, you cannot come back. And anytime you're seen here, you will be escorted out because that's a line that can't be crossed. There's nothing that you want to be mean to the player and tell them how they suck or that they're terrible or, get into their weaknesses as a player or whatever. You want to call them names that are just normal, like you're an idiot, whatever. You do that. You can be annoying to the people around you. And if you're super annoying to the people around you, you should go too, because you're ruining their enjoyment. So there's always, I don't even know how you can define a hard line, but there's always that line that somebody crosses, right, Dave? Between being goofy and just playing around with the opponent, even if it's a little mean, versus disrupting everybody else's experience of the game.
You will believe me when I say this, because I'm not a big S talker and I'm not a big tough guy. But had I been in the stands near that guy, I would have laid hands on him.
Yeah.
Given my past and my brother and everything.
Well, you could tell Duran wanted to. Like he was. Did you see the video?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing that he didn't. I mean, Jaron's a really big, strong guy, and he would have done a lot of damage. But like, how bad of a person do you have to be to go there?
The worst.
Yeah. What are you doing behind closed doors if that's what you're saying to people in public? You know, like how that is creepy and wrong and very messed up.
And again, I don't want to hear from anybody like, oh, freedom of speech. Yeah, that just means the government can't prosecute him for it.
Right.
That doesn't mean that the Cleveland Guardians or the Boston Red Sox or the Cardinals, whoever, can't say you are not welcome at our business.
I'll get this wrong, but basically, when you go to a ball game, you are purchasing a lease, that I am leasing this seat for this ball game. And it comes with rules, just like leasing an apartment. And if you trash the apartment and we catch you, we're going to end the lease and kick you out. And if you violate any of these rules, which telling a player you should have killed yourself when you had the chance is violating one of those rules, then you lose your license and you lose your lease and you get kicked out. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. And that one is so blatantly obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like that one is a step beyond what anybody I think would accept. But I mean, I hear things that are about family members, about wives, about, somebody's heritage, whatever. Those things I think are widely, frowned upon as well. But I would like the leagues and the teams to make sure. In this case, they did take action. Like, they identified the person and all that. But you have to be strict on that because there's nothing else anybody can do, right? I mean, you can't fight the guy. So the only thing you can do is say you don't get to come here anymore.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose